Here we go. I'm going to do a little intro, kick this thing off. All right, everybody. Thank you so much for making the time to be here with us today. This is a very exciting event that we have for you. This is Russia-America Exchange number 3, Education Schteteinen's Way. This is, everything you want to know about, the method and how to do all that. You read the event intro, so I don't need to say too much about it. I'd love for everybody who's here to share your locations in the chat. Please drop your location. We can see where everybody's at. I'm sure we have an amazing international group of people here, so I just love to see where everybody's from, and we can give our guests an idea of who's here. Vancouver Island, Canada, Minnesota, US. We've got Austin, Texas, Uruguay, that's cool. Barcelona, Spain, Meaford, Ontario, California, Missouri. We've got another from Spain, that's cool. Minneapolis. Maybe Svetlana, you want to share? We've got some international stuff going on here.
Он как раз перечисляет, сейчас люди отправляют в чате, вы можете посмотреть, кто откуда, где кто находится, в какой стране. То есть у нас с Испании, с Америки, с Канады,
Индия.
с Уругвая, с Индии даже кто-то сейчас подсоединился. То есть у нас такой международный получается вообще созвон, очень здорово.
Finland.
Англия. That's amazing.
Yep, we've got from all over the continental US here, Texas, Hawaii, aloha.
Texas.
Aloha to our Hawaii friends, the Netherlands. We've got the Netherlands. This is great, guys. This is so cool. We're bringing together so many people from across the world.
То есть мы аудиторию не видим, они нас видят, но основная аудитория просто как слушатели получаются. Чтобы вот, если что-то написать, в общем чате вы тоже можете там писать, смотреть. Зрители там отправляют свои какие-то запросы.
Beautiful. Вот. Thank you, guys. It's exciting to see the group in diversity. One more from Washington State, and yeah, so I just want to do a little introductions. Oh, we've got one more from Portugal. This is cool. Love seeing this diversity. But I'm going to introduce the team here so you guys can get to know the people behind this event. I'm Gabriel Miguel. I'm the executive director of the Anastasia Foundation. We're building the Ringing Cedars of Russia movement internationally, as evidenced by what everyone is saying in the chat here, but trying to build the Ringing Cedars community everywhere where we can. And Anastasia here today is our amazing translator. She is just awesome. So we are very grateful for Anastasia. Svetlana is our incredible networker who makes all these connections possible. She lives on a Kins domain settlement in Russia and is just an unbelievable connector with the entire Ringing Cedars community. And she is helping us with all the speakers and all of our Russian friends who speak with us on these Russia-America exchanges. We have thanks to Svetlana. So Svetlana is amazing. Winston helps with our events in every single kind of way, logistics and planning. And it's just an invaluable partner in every kind of way. And together we are the Russia-America exchange team. And you see, we have some of our guests here. I got to look for Nikolai in the chat. I just don't think he's here yet. But anyway, I think we can get started. So I want to say a little bit about how this event is going to work. You can ask your questions in the Q&A section as we go along. So if you look at the bottom of your screen, you have a little button that says Q&A. You can click on that, submit your questions, and we are able to very easily organize them and answer them. And as we get to them, it'll be very easy to do that. So please ask your questions in the Q&A section. If you put them in the chat area, it's likely that they will get lost. It's hard to track questions in there, so please put them in the Q&A section. There's a chance that your questions might get answered as we go along, but if it's something very pertinent and critical to the discussion, but most likely all the questions are going to be saved for the Q&A section at the end. You'll be able to speak with all of the students here and and everybody who is present on the call. So yeah, without further ado, those are just the little notes before we get started, but I'd like to introduce, maybe, I don't know, Svetlana, maybe you can introduce them better than me, but our first speaker here.
I think they can introduce better themselves.
All right, wonderful.
You know, like, let's do that.
All right.
I think they can do the best. Окей, ребята, ну все, даем вам слово. Так, вам нужно включить звук.
Есть звук?
Да, можете представиться. Yeah, we can hear you. Да, все слышно.
Отлично.
Всем добрый день, добрый вечер. Вот мы таким дружным, мощным коллективом приветствуем такое собрание, такое замечательное количество людей, которые пришли подумать о будущем образования, о будущем мира, я бы сказал. Вот. И сейчас мы вам немножко расскажем о себе.
Good day, everyone. We are greeting all people present with our, there's a lot of us here. We're very happy to greet you all and to talk about education, raising children, the future of the world, to answer questions. We're happy to be here.
Итак, мы начнем с маленького ролика о нас, видеоряд.
We're going to start with a little video about our school. It's introductory video.
They should be able to share their screen. So do they want me to play it or is somebody else going to do it?
Вы можете демонстрацию экрана сделать. Должно работать.
They can share their screen. They should be able to.
Да, у вас есть сейчас должна быть возможность, подключена функция, чтобы демонстрацию экрана сделать. Дайте знать. Ага.
All right, perfect.
Works, yeah.
Видно? Слышно? Да.
We can't hear the video. I think
Мы не можем слышать.
there's an option on their screen on the top left where they can click, they can change the audio settings.
Слева наверху нужно переключить на звук, чтобы слышно было, чтобы аудио проигрывалось, когда делаете демонстрацию экрана.
Добрый день, меня зовут Виталий Николаевич Кузовкин, я являюсь руководителем Центра развития человеческого потенциала слова. После закрытия лицея Scheteneina Михаила Петровича у нас сформировался коллектив из преподавателей, тех, кто работал когда-либо в лицее, из тех, кто учился, и единомышленников, которые примкнули к нам в этом нелегком труде.
Would you like me to translate or?
Решил продолжить ту колоссальную работу.
Yeah, a little bit of translation would be good, I think.
Let's stop the video for a second, right?
Sure.
Sorry. Good day. They're a collective of teachers that was formed. It's called Synergy. We're a school and like-minded people that came together to create an alternative school.
Great.
Которая формировалась, которая закладывалась на протяжении многих лет жизни Тикоса. И в этом году мы открыли лагерь, называется «Синергия от новатора». Это целая...
Okay. We've been... So there was Schetenin, and so collective has been formed for a while. And this year we've opened a summer camp for children called Synergy. Можете продолжать видео.
Уникальная программа, в которой есть место и для предметов, таких как физика, математика, химия, биология, где дети являются не просто слушателями, а соучастниками процесса, творцами процесса. Они создают сами предметы и в формате взаимообучения передают их друг другу.
Okay, it's a unique system where children not only study subjects such physics, chemistry, biology, but they are co-creators. They work together. They teach each other and co-create.
У нас в формате лагеря проходят тренировки по боевому искусству, народная хореография, различные ремесла, кафедры. Есть кафедра китайского языка, есть кафедра тактической подготовки на базе страйкбола, есть горная подготовка, есть рисование, пение, вокал. Много всего интересного, что создает атмосферу дружбы, взаимодействия, взаимотворчества.
So we have a wide variety of subjects such as physical education, crafts. We have different languages. We have Chinese like study. We do mountain studies. We do singing. We do all kinds of complementary activities for children.
И для ребят, которые к нам пришли, у нас первая смена уже идет, это целый мир, через который можно посмотреть на себя совсем с другой стороны, как на человека, как на личность. Это мир природы, мир взаимоотношений, мир нашей большой Родины.
It's a whole different world of children. We are inviting you to see. It's a different world where people can look at themselves from a different angle and discover new abilities and new skills.
Спасибо. Так.
Ну и хотели бы мы в первую очередь предоставить слово нашему руководителю научно-методического сопровождения.
First of all, we would like to give a word to our leader of science, like science and research.
Кандидата педагогических наук Панову Владимиру Александровичу.
So it's Panov Vladimir Alexandrovich. He's, извините, кандидат каких наук? Филологических? Педагогических. Okay. He has a degree in pedagogy. He has a science degree in pedagogy, which is raising and educating children.
Добрый день, уважаемые коллеги. Вы посмотрели увлекательный ролик о нашей школе. Вам это показалось интересно?
Good day, dear colleagues. You just watched the video about our school. Did you find it interesting?
How about you guys let us know in the chat, how interesting did you think that video was? Yes, yes, very interesting. Loved it. Awesome, fascinating. Whoa.
Интересно, здорово, замечательно, восхитительно. Да, да, да.
Хорошо. Мы хотим сказать только одну вещь, что школа работает в плане самых лучших инновационных технологий образовательных, которые есть в современности. Это методология прошлого, педагоги Ушинский, Макаренко, Schetenin. Это наши традиции.
We would like to say that our school works only in the best traditions of pedagogy and methodology of Ushinsky, Makarenko, and Schetenin.
И это налагается на современные технологии инновационные, которые называются педагогика сотрудничества, методика погружения, дайвинг. Это наши особенности, дающие эффективность высочайшую.
Okay. And this methodology is aligned, works along with the innovative methods, new methods, and new technologies to achieve best results. And we are using collaboration in our school to get the best possible outcome.
Все это позволяет наравне с системой самоуправления, вот ребята присутствуют, готовить ярких лидеров современности, которые успешно реализуют свои планы в жизни.
This allows, so this system of self-governing children allows for to create, to build successful leaders that will later go on and create something of their own.
И этот процесс происходит на научной основе. Идет сопровождение этого процесса в плане здоровья, физического, психологического здоровья и социального здоровья.
This process goes along with the science and the findings of science. And we are concerned, we are taking into account health, such as psychological health, physical health, and the study is aligned with the goal of children being most healthy in all of those aspects of health.
К примеру, один учебный предмет, физика или химия, осваивается ребятами за 1-2 года, не за 11 лет, а за 2 года осваивается полностью весь учебный предмет. Плюс ребята осваивают еще целый набор личностных профессиональных качеств. Танцы, рукопашный бой, туристические походы и так далее.
So we, in that process, we study subjects such as physics or chemistry in 1 to 2 years. So instead of stretching it over 11 years, we are able to condense and deeply grasp the subject in that short time, in 1 to 2 years. And along with that, we also teach such interpersonal skills and things like dancing, singing, physical education, and self-defense.
Самая главная особенность: каждый ребенок включен в процесс совместной жизни в одном пространстве 24 часа в сутки, 7 дней в неделю, 360 дней в году.
The biggest difference for our school is every child is included in the process 24/7 and 365 days in a year and every day of the week. They're basically, it's the creative process where they constantly are involved.
Они живут без родителей сами, самоорганизуются, и никто не устает, и никто не просится домой, и всем очень хорошо и интересно.
They live here without parents. They self-govern and self-motivate and help each other. And at the same time, nobody is bored, nobody is tired. They're happy to be here. We don't have any complaints.
Вот это самые главные, уникальные особенности этой технологии педагогики сотрудничества. И к нам много обращаются различных специалистов, чтобы наш опыт перенять и тиражировать у себя.
This is the most important aspect of pedagogy of collaboration. And this is what other teachers are like, they're trying to learn it. They're asking us to share those skills with them.
И мы приглашаем к сотрудничеству всех и тех, кто за этим экраном, к нашему совместному сотрудничеству, потому что английский язык наши ребята любят и очень хорошо изучают и владеют им.
We are also inviting other teachers in other schools to collaborate. We are open to different collaboration projects. We're interested in studying English language and deepening our language skills. So reach out if you're interested in collaboration.
Ну и самое главное, весь этот образовательный процесс, он в себя вмещает традицию и культуру всех народов, которые проживают на территории нашей России. Все это постигается в творчестве.
The most important part is the process of learning here includes the culture of many different nationalities and people that live on the territory of Russia. So we use it's a fusion of different approaches and different cultures, and we use the best to run our program.
Те главные качества, которые наши выпускники демонстрируют, их можно назвать как креативность, творческое реагирование на разные события жизни, успешное реагирование.
The main quality that we would like to mention here is the creativity or creative reaction, like positive reaction in that sense, to different situations, different things that happen in life.
И таким образом наши ребята вписываются в окружающий мир. Они несут в себе заряд гражданина мира.
So in that way, our children are prepared to be a part of this world in many different situations or events that happen in this world and changes. And so they're prepared to deal with it in a way as a part of this world and co-creators.
Таким образом, они знают культуру народов мира, свою культуру, и самое интересное, они становятся активными гражданинами своей страны и всего мира, принимая культуру и творчество всех народов мира.
So in that way, they know the culture of the world, they know the culture of our country, and they are able to use it and accept it and learn from it and use it as a positive experience.
И таким образом мы решаем проблему, самую главную проблему у молодежи, у современности, диалог поколений, конфликт поколений. Современная молодежь ничего не хочет, и она социально инфантильна.
In that way, we also solve a big problem that exists, usually is a conflict of generation, where children sometimes aren't willing to work together with the older generation, and they're not feeling like they are belonging to it. So with that approach, we solve the problem where children can feel more as a part of entire society. There's no conflict of generation, and there's no infantile behavior, like immature behavior, where a child just tries to stay away from responsibility, stay away from learning skills, doing certain things.
А наши ребята хотят развиваться, хотят творить, хотят помогать людям, они хотят сделать этот мир лучше, и они готовы к этому, и их не нужно к этому подгонять и убеждать. Это у них взращивается изнутри. Вы об этом у них сейчас спросите, они вам расскажут.
And our children, they're willing, they're excited to develop, to learn, to create. They're willing to share, and you can ask them about that. You can talk to them, you can ask them questions.
Хорошо, хорошо. И теперь маленький ролик еще о нас, чтобы немножко оживить нашу атмосферу в формате видео. Отлично. Спасибо.
Little video here, just to kind of show, illustrate a couple of things that we talked about.
Мы бы хотели, конечно, вас пригласить, наверное, не к просмотру, а к соучастию.
С наступающим Новым годом!
Вы готовы?
Да, конечно.
Хорошо, давайте мы теперь немножко голосами наших ребят расскажем о том, как мы живем. Сейчас.
We would like to share how we live here with our children speaking about that.
Расписание дня вам расскажет Злата.
Sorry, кто будет рассказывать о расписании дня?
Злата.
Не слышно.
Злата.
Zlata. Okay. Zlata will talk about our day, about the order, the schedule of each day.
Я буду вам рассказывать про расписание. У нас расписание очень разностороннее, но вот в дни учебные у нас подъем в 6:30.
So we get up at 6:30.
Дальше у нас идет зарядка.
Then we do some exercising.
Потом у нас какое-то время, чтобы там переодеться, подготовиться к занятиям. Потом у нас идет занятие, погружение. Потом завтрак и снова занятие по погружению идет.
Then we have time to get ready for the lesson. Then we have a lesson. Then we have breakfast. And then we go into deep diving of learning after the breakfast.
Дальше у нас идет хореография. У нас расписание сделано так, что мы все равновесили, чтобы мы не переутруждались и чтобы мы не были сильно расслаблены. Вот. Потом у нас идет хореография.
Then we have choreography. Just a second. Anything. Just you can get on the console if you want. Sorry, my child is bored. So we have там у вас хореография, а потом что еще после хореографии?
Я сказала, что у нас день проходит так, чтобы мы все уравновесили, чтобы у нас расписание было не сильно загруженным и чтобы не сильно мы отдыхали. Да, и физическая, и умственная нагрузка.
Okay, поняла. So our schedule is very balanced, so we don't get too tired, we don't get overworked. We have everything is balanced in a way that we can easily do it. So after that study, we have choreography as I guess as a way to relax and do something different.
Дальше после хореографии у нас идет личное время свободно, когда мы можем, сначала обед, потом личное время. Вот на личном времени мы там занимаемся своими делами, там читаем книжки, вот, отдыхаем.
After choreography, we have personal time where we can relax, we can read books, we can just take our time.
Дальше в 3 часа дня у нас уже идут лаборатории. Лаборатории это
что значит?
Это мы распределились по командам, и у нас в лаборатории есть вот химия.
Углубленное изучение предмета.
Да, углубленное изучение предмета. Вот у нас там химия, физика, математика, вот, и мы тоже уделяем этому время, вот, поэтому в 3 часа у нас в лаборатории.
At 3 p.m. we work on science project, like more of a, like for example, chemistry, where we actually work with different elements. So we have like a practical work on science.
Потом у нас русское боевое искусство идет, вот.
Then we have a Russian self-defense craft or art, I guess.
Russian martial art.
Russian martial arts.
Дальше после этого мы идем там в душ, приводим себя в порядок, и после этого у нас идет ужин, а после ужина у нас идут кафедры.
Then we go have shower, take care of ourselves after that physical exercising. And then we have кафедры. Это что такое? Объясните, пожалуйста.
Кафедры это, у нас есть такие кружки, например, там вот рисование есть, вот, да, занятия, которые уже более такие, да, творческие больше занятия, вот, которые ведем мы.
Окей. Оно одно для всех или они разные для разных людей?
Нет, они разные есть.
Okay. So after that, after we take care of ourselves, have shower, we can do elective work that we self-govern. It could be different crafts, different activities that are creative in nature.
И все, потом у нас идет время коллективов, сбор, мы там обговариваем, как прошел день. Да, потом проговариваем, да, подводим итоги дня, и потом, конечно же, у нас уборка там комнат, уборка всего дома, и потом у нас отбой, мы уже ложимся спать потом.
Then we have the time to gather as a collective, to reflect, to discuss some questions, and then we have time to take care of our rooms, to clean up, do some chores, what we need to get done in that evening.
Про армейский рукопашный бой и блокировку расскажет Виктория и Олег.
Now we're going to talk about the Russian martial art. It's gonna be Victoria and Oleg will speak on that subject.
Что касается рукопашного боя, у нас в него входит много разных видов активностей. Это общая физическая подготовка, это бокс, это борьба, это нижняя акробатика, вот, ну и так далее.
So when it comes to Russian martial arts, we have different parts that it includes. So it's physical education, it's self-defense, it's just training your body in different aspects. It's learning to fight, it's self-defense, and it's just training, like physical training of the body.
Что касается девчат, у нас, во-первых, получается, тренировки проходят раздельно, вот, и у них это больше нижняя акробатика, там ушу, самооборона, такое.
And the girls have a different routine. They do a lot of like acrobatic style, and they do wushu and self-defense more. Like that's more of their routine for the girls.
Также у них есть гимнастика, растяжка, какие-то пластические упражнения.
Girls also have gymnastics, stretching, and different types of exercises that are more plastic, fluid. I'm not sure. Yoga type of exercising.
Вот. Ну, во-первых, как бы для чего вообще мы решили внести рукопашный в наш день? Вот. Это, во-первых, отвлечение от учебного процесса, чтобы не сильно загружать мозг, сознание именно учебой.
So why did we decide to include the martial arts in our study process? It's so that our brain gets a break from learning, gets a break from knowledge accumulation and reading and that type of activities.
Вот. Также это, ну, то есть в занятиях рукопашным, особенно для парней, это развитие каких-то лидерских качеств, упорства, вот, ну, как бы создается характер именно такой мужской.
And as well as learning martial arts helps men to develop leadership, develop will, develop social skills and confidence.
Вот, также это необходимый для парней соревновательный процесс, то есть тоже, ну, чтобы расти, нужно им соревноваться между собой. У нас также проходят соревнования именно по каким-то отдельным таким направлениям. Это там может быть бокс, борьба, вот, и они как бы борются не только за победу, но и побеждают самих себя.
It also provides environment for the competitive process that helps boys to evolve, and they have different activities, different competition style activities. It could be box or some other varieties of physical competitive sports. So it was boxing, not box.
Ну, они как бы на соревнованиях, они борются не только за первое место, за призовые места, но еще как бы побеждают в себе вот этот страх выйти в спарринг, то есть побеждают самих себя.
And so important thing here is they don't just compete to be the first, they also learn to win over their own, win like themselves, to develop best qualities, to overcome some struggles within themselves.
Параллельно девчата еще занимаются фланкировкой.
Как это называется? Танкировка?
Фланкировка, да.
Фланкировка. Объясните, пожалуйста, что это такое? Это неизвестный мне термин.
Мы крутим шашкой.
Это часть народной культуры,
Это часть народной культуры.
связанная с холодным обращением, да, с холодным оружием, исторически сложившейся.
Ага. Шашки, они по сути мечи, да? Они похожи на мечи или они полегче мечей? So the girls also do a sword, dancing with a sword art as well.
Sorry, I interrupted you. Sword.
Спасибо, Николай. So the girls do dancing with a sword activity as well.
Зачем вообще этим заниматься? Во-первых, это формирует ориентацию в 3D-пространстве, и вообще шашка считается энергетическим предметом. Когда ты ее крутишь, ты выстраиваешь вокруг себя такое энергетическое поле.
That activity helps to develop balancing abilities, and it's also energetic type of activity. It's a style of work where so the sword, it's a specific type of sword. It's not typical straight, like it's a little bent, I believe. So I'm just trying to explain my words right now. So when they move the sword around themselves, they actually create energetic field. It's like our energy work in a way as well.
Like Tai Chi or something.
Definitely. Габриэль сказала, что это похоже на тайчи, да, в этом смысле, то есть еще работа с энергией.
Да. Почему мы вообще начали этим заниматься? Это культура нашего народа. Вообще шашка раньше использовалась как холодное оружие у казаков, и оно было всегда при них. И чтобы не забывать свои традиции, мы продолжаем и обучаем детей, которые приходят к нам, как раз-таки умению владеть шашкой.
Okay. The reason we are studying is because of part of the Cossack culture. It's a historical something that people in the south of Russia and Cossacks specifically have done for centuries, and we teach children. It's a part of the culture. It's a part of our development or cultural identity.
Время.
Далее мы переходим к хореографии, и про нее расскажет Борис Муратович.
Now we're gonna switch to choreography, and Борис Иванович, да? Борис Иванович.
Борис Муратович.
Извините. Борис Муратович.
Борис.
Ежедневно наши парни и девчата занимаются народной хореографией.
Every day our girls and our boys are learning choreography.
У нас действует именно народное направление, потому что народная хореография является нашей такой традиционной структурой, которая укрепляет наше братство. Вы знаете, что на территории России проживает около 190 народов. В этом наша сила и единство. Поэтому мы стараемся сохранить и, конечно же, усилить это единство.
So we study the folk dancing basically, and so we try to save our culture, our dancing, and as you might know, there are about 119 different nationalities that live on a territory of Russia. So we try to learn from different cultures that have dancing, choreography, to preserve the culture, to save it, and to benefit from that wisdom.
Сейчас у нас на постоянной основе действуют два направления. Это хореография русская народная и хореография народов Кавказа.
Right now we have two consistent types of dancing. which is the Russian, and then the Caucasus, which are the people of Georgia, people that live in the like mountain area of South Russia. So those are the two main streams that we include in our routine.
Для парней народная хореография – это возможность укрепить свою физическую силу, повысить ловкость, выносливость, пластичность, открыть характер.
For the boys, studying choreography helps to develop their strength, their flexibility, their balance, and develop their personal will, the will and interpersonal skills.
Для девочек также это выносливость, пластичность, ловкость, женственность, открытость и в то же время скромность.
For the boys, for the girls, is a way to develop their strength, their flexibility, as well as their femininity, and it actually helps them, the way it's done, it helps them to develop their feminine side and to be timid, to be like, so like the idea is the acceptance, the feminine side is receptive, so it helps them to develop the receptive side, the receiving side, which is important for a woman to possess.
Несмотря на то, что у нас действуют два направления, мы имеем потенциал станцевать танец любого народа.
And so, despite of us studying the two main streams, we have the skills and ability to take on any dance of any folk. We learn all the basic elements, all the common ways of dancing.
Диана.
Далее вам расскажет про учебный процесс наш педагог Диана.
Повторите, пожалуйста, что вы сказали, кто и что будет сейчас рассказывать. Иногда в голосах теряется, что вы сказали.
Про учебный процесс нам расскажет наш педагог Диана.
Okay, our teacher Diana will talk about our learning process.
If it's okay, I would like to speak in English.
Please.
So we won't lose our time for translating. Well, my name is Diana, as you heard. Well, I would like to tell you about our educational process from the teacher side of view. Well, first of all, each of our teachers are proficient like in different or in several subjects. It means that a teacher is able to run different subjects, like as well as integrate them inside themselves and between themselves. Like, does it make sense? Integration inside and integration between.
Makes sense.
Yes? Okay. So, and actually, this is the essential, and actually it is essential for creating like a successful immersion into a subject. As you heard before, we have like immersions into subjects for several days. Okay. Well, and I think that the second main point here is that we build and we are building like trusting relationships both during our classes and during our everyday life. So our students feel themselves, you know, in a warm atmosphere, in a like, they feel like they are essential here, like they feel needed here. And that's why they are in the center of our educational process. We are not fitting them into the subjects, but we fit subjects, we change subjects for them. So they would understand them like in a better way. So usually, maybe you know or not, an immersion into a subject lasts for 5 or 7 days. It could be actually 3 days, it could be 1 day. It can change, like when we have different tasks, we can do like short ones and long ones. So, and normally it's 3 or 3.5 hours per day. And what I want to say in the end, that we encourage them to be creative during the lessons and during their everyday life. So we encourage them to ask questions, whatever question it is, maybe a silly one, maybe like a hard one. So they know that they can ask anything, and we would try to answer them and help them to understand it. And we encourage them to be proactive, to take responsibility for their knowledge. So wherever they would be, even they are here or they would go somewhere else, to the university, to, I don't know, anywhere else. And by this, I want to draw your attention to the fact that the educational process is inseparable from the upbringing process for us. So the psychologist, the pedagogue, the person that is like, you know, they're responsible for upbringing children during everyday life. It's like all these roles are in one teacher. We can see these roles and other roles like mother or sometimes sisters in each teacher that we have here. If you have any questions, you're welcome. But for me, this is all.
We have a lot of questions that have come in from the audience so far, but we'll get to them later. But I had a question for you specifically, Diana. Can you explain more for those who don't know about the immersion process and how that compares to the standard education process?
Well, okay, I will try to answer to that. Well, normally when we take a subject, let's imagine, I don't know, chemistry, my subject, that's why I'll tell you about that. So we divide chemistry to 4 years, right? And every day, these 4 years, you go to school and you have 45 or 50 minutes of this chemistry. What would you remember after 3 years of chemistry? Would you remember that you had a chemistry, I don't know, 3 years ago? No. Like no one could like say something. I had 3 years ago on that day something. So we want to, you know, we don't want to have that gap in knowledge. You know, we want to connect the knowledge like from like so time would be on our side here. And that's why immersion into a subject, why I told you about systematization and integration inside the subject and between subjects. So these two things allow us to take a subject and, you know, maybe I can say squeeze it, you know, to make it a little bit smaller, but to leave there all the essential things that a child should know about the subject. So, and after that, we see that there is nothing to learn for 4 years. You can learn it for 1 year or for 2 years. Maybe I tried to explain it. Is it okay?
That's a great explanation. And so you mentioned that the immersion process lasts up to a week, usually like 3 to 5 days. So how do you determine when you get to the end of, like, are you studying an entire subject like chemistry in 1 week, or is it subsections of chemistry that you study in a week?
Good question. Well, we study sometimes. We study sections, or we have a section, and for example, it is divided into 4 years, 4 classes, you know, and we connect all these 4 classes to one week. And this section is like wholly what like would be taught and learned and studied during this week. Or it could be a subject, but from different sides. This section, and a little bit of that, a little bit of that. So you would see the, you know, the whole picture of it in the end.
Gotcha. It makes sense. I want to give a note to my other presenters here. We have so many questions coming in that I am not sure how we will be able to manage it all if we do it at the Q&A section. We have 18 questions right now. So guys, do you think we should answer some of these questions now? Or do you, Diana, do you have more that you guys want to share at this moment?
I would ask that. So, он спрашивает, можем ли мы переходить к вопросам-ответам, потому что уже очень много вопросов накопилось, или вы хотите что-то еще сказать нам? Ну, что-то еще важное обязательно нужно, что-то еще сказать. Я могу добавить самоуправление. Мне кажется, просто самоуправление.
Ну, уже просто время, тайм.
We would like to tell you just like a little bit of information, and then I guess we can start the Q&A section.
Great.
Здравствуйте, меня зовут Настя. Я вам расскажу про самоуправление наше. Вот. Вообще основа нашего коллектива, основа нашей системы — это наше детское самоуправление.
Good day, my name is Nastya. I would like to talk about self-governance. So the self-governance is the basics of our system of studying.
Самоуправление — это группа активных, реактивных, ответственных людей, которые решают проблемы коллектива и помогают коллективу.
Self-governance is basically a group of active children that solve ongoing problems and help others in the process of education.
Самоуправление берет на себя ответственность, берут какую-то должность на себя, к примеру, командир коллектива или ответственность за чистоту и так далее.
Different members of self-governance usually take responsibility for different aspects. For example, cleaning of the area, cleaning of our buildings.
Or, sorry, можно я добавлю? Or Anastasia said that they could be the leaders of the groups. They could be like the directors of boys, of girls. So that's why we call them like the leaders of their groups. So they are responsible for that too.
И самое главное, что самоуправление показывает своим примером и как бы других ребят помогает тянуться за ними, чтобы другие ребята тоже росли.
The most important part is the self-governance helps. So they show an example to other children, so other children can look and grow and develop. So the main thing they provide is an example for others to grow. Thank you. That was all.
And just a few words from our teacher.
Да, просто у нас работа в коллективе здесь не строится в формате сотрудничества. То есть, когда ребенок приходит к нам, он становится не просто участником процесса, не просто учеником, а человеком, который может сам создавать пространство, менять пространство. Вот.
Another important part is that when a child comes to learn, he becomes a co-creator. He can create a space. He can create different things, not just follow orders.
Да, и это очень важная часть нашей работы. Дети ведут занятия сами, дети ведут творческие кафедры. Ну, то есть может прийти ребенок и сказать: я хорошо рисую, давайте я буду вести кафедру рисунка. Или я хорошо играю на фортепиано, давайте я остальных научу. И передает свой навык, свои знания, опыт остальным детям.
Yeah, and it's a very important part of our school, so that every child can come and say, I would like to teach, I would like to do elective for drawing, for example, and he will share the skills with other students. So in that way, we have many different electives, and children are leading those electives.
И даже сейчас на этой конференции с нами сидят наши дети, ученики, они участвуют в этом процессе и отвечают за эту конференцию, кстати, тоже дети. Вот стоит у нас Амелия, которая отвечает за вот этот весь процесс, она это организовывала, одна из ребят.
And so even now we have someone who is responsible for organizing this process. Amelia actually was in charge. So meet her. She took care of details and help organizing. And so this is how our school run different projects. We usually have children leading different aspects in different projects.
Значит, перегруппировка небольшая нужна. Мы ребят отпустим и будем чекать.
So, actually, I think for now, this is all that we wanted to say. So we need a few moments to change, yes, to like make a smaller group here. And if it's okay, we may start like in a few minutes, the Q&A section.
Sure, no problem. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you, everybody. Bye-bye. And by the way, the audience loved everything that you guys shared, so please let them know. All right, video is off. Wow, guys, so maybe we will get to the questions for the school a little bit later. I think we can probably, we will do our best to get to as many questions as we can. It is likely that this event will run over time. So if you guys want to stay with us, I think the Q&A section will probably run a little bit over time. We'll see what our speakers are able to accommodate. But we'll do our best to get to everything. So thank you guys for that. And so we can probably move into to our dear friend Nikolai here and get started.
Just hello, everyone. I can speak English or Russian, whatever you would prefer, but maybe since some of our friends don't speak English, maybe it's better to speak Russian. Well, whatever is better, tell me, please.
English would be good, if you don't mind.
Okay, so we'll save some time in this way. What I would like to say, first of all, my name is
Nikolai. Извиняюсь, я перебью на секундочку. Gabriel, sorry, I just want to add a little bit. So because we have some Russian people who are joining us, if there is something important you want to say in Russian to address to people who are speaks only Russian in auditory, you can just feel free, Nikolai, to maybe do both on some parts.
Absolutely.
Whatever, let's do that.
So we'll do both. Но знаете, начнем все-таки, да, я немножко скажу по-русски. Во-первых, я хочу поприветствовать Центр слова, вот, потому что это наши друзья, во многом нам помогли формироваться тоже. И хочу поблагодарить еще раз Виталия Николаевича Кузовкина за ту помощь, которую он нам оказал. Да, очень здорово, что мы находимся вместе на этой конференции. Now I'll switch to English to save our time a little bit. Our school is called Synergy School of Life. We are located in the south of Russia, near the town of Gelendzhik. Well, I don't know if it's a city or a town, but it's relatively big. It's about 50,000 people living there. But we're in a village. We're about 17 kilometers from there, from the city of Gelendzhik, in a beautiful mountain valley. And we're a family school. First of all, we started as a summer camp. We ran as a summer camp for 2 years, and then this summer we started as a school. Why we started as a summer camp? first of all, well, because we had no experience whatsoever in running in school. I didn't have any pedagogical experience. Practically, I didn't know much about education, except from the fact that I studied in a school in the Soviet Union, then knew Russia, then I studied in France, in Czech Republic, and in Britain I went to university. So a lot of things I experienced on myself. And then I had my own children, who first of all studied in a state system. My son studied in a state school, in a Russian state school in Prague. And it wasn't an easy time for him, first of all, because the system was tough, plus one teacher, but the main one didn't like him. So it was very difficult for him to progress. And then well, with my daughter, it was a slightly different thing. But with my son, it was in such a way that he had really big problems with studying, because he felt that he's not liked at school. He had problems with classmates because of this, because all negative teacher attention turned towards him. Then at one point, I showed him a film about Schetenin school in the south of Russia, basically from where the Slovo center started as well. So they are where both our school and Center Slovo started from the same place. Basically, was inspired by the same idea, by the idea of Mikhail Petrovich Schetenin, famous Russian pedagogue. And my son, at the age of 10, he saw this film about that school, how children created their own school, how relationships between people are completely different, and he had a dream to go there. So eventually, at the age of 11, he joined the school. It's a boarding school. He spent a year, and basically in front of me were sitting people who were also his teachers at that time. But unfortunately, after a year, he had to leave the school, and Schetenin school was subsequently closed. So again, we tried the state educational system, and we didn't like it at all. For several reasons, not because of teachers this time, because of other children who didn't have the same motivation as he did. They didn't have the same life understanding as he did. So this is why I decided to start my own school, because also I had several friends who had children in their family who didn't know what to do with them. Basically, these children didn't go to any school at all until the age of 13 in a way, because they thought that they would rather wait for a good opportunity than to damage their children, basically psychological health. So I was such an opportunity for them. My daughter, she studied in the Czech Republic in a Czech school, but I didn't see that she studied much actually. So I didn't see any result from her studies. And this is why I also I returned her to Russia. And eventually she joined my school. But as I said, I didn't have any experience whatsoever in, I didn't have any pedagogical skills. So I just started to gathering children around some activities in our valley. Well, basically we played games, we went to, we hiked. So I just tried to see what was actually interesting for them, bearing in mind that eventually we'll come to a proper school where children will work and as a team with teachers in the same way as described our colleagues and friends. And this was a long journey. because people were coming who tried to help us. Not all of them were suitable, but everything brought something into the process. So eventually we returned to where we started from. We returned to the inheritance of Mikhail Petrovich Schetenin, and I was introduced to Vitaly Kuzovkin, who took some of our children to his school, invited to his to stay at his school for a week, so that they see the atmosphere. And then a team was created to help us to motivate children, to build a team from them, to show them the perspective and the future. And in my understanding, this is what we all have to do. So now I'm at the point where I can invite people who are interested in education to see how we work. I am able to take children from other places so that they study with our children, and we help them to form like this student body, this team, this unity, so that they can return to their place and start a new school there. Because I think the future is with family schools with a number of students, well, about 50 or something like that, not more than that, because if it's bigger, then it's more difficult to pay attention to each individual child. So I think it's better to form a people's popular education system, not controlled by government, with a large amount of small schools in rural areas, maybe cities. And in Russia, this movement goes very strongly. One of the reasons why it goes really well is because the state in Russia actually allows family education and provides means for that. Because we don't have any problems with assessment whatsoever, because we actually officially we don't exist as a school. Neither does Center Slovo. They don't exist as a school either officially. Each children is individually bound to a state school, but the child is on each child is on family education. So they pass assessment either through computer, basically on distance, once a year, and then we have to take two series of exams, which are similar to GCSE and A levels in English system. But for this, we have to actually come to a state school for this assessment, but this is no problem. Currently, this system allows us to take exams whenever we are prepared. So, for example, in our case, well, we have roughly 15 students now. In our case, our students passed the assessment before the New Year Eve, mostly in November. Although the normal term is May, so they actually did it beforehand. My son, for example, he did 2 classes in 1 year, and this is no problem at all, because they are relaxed, they don't have any stresses, and they follow the individual education plan. In the same way as in Slovo, we have multiple aged children studying together, and I saw a question that all the children have different skills, different understanding, different knowledge. This is no problem, because first of all, quite often children from upper grades have gaps ranging, well, starting from first grade, from early school. Things they didn't understand, things they didn't know, they don't know. And this is where we have to, this is where they have to catch up. Otherwise, they'll have problems on the exam. And by helping younger children to understand these things, by assisting teachers, professional teachers to teach younger children, they see these gaps and they're able to fill them, to correct them. This is how it works. Plus the main feature, a very important feature is that all the children, they become like senior students who help their younger, well, brothers of arms, I would say, because we have like a brotherhood to understand subjects, because not always adults can explain things in a way that children can understand, because we have different images, different way of thinking. So children can understand each other better. And this is what we took also from Schetinin's pedagogy. When we started this summer, we practically didn't have, well, when they started, we didn't have practically any teachers. We had parents, we had people with incentive. Currently, we have professional teachers practically in every subject. Children either live at school, or if they have their parents nearby, they live with their parents, but they have to be in class at 7 a.m. And we finish, well, 7 p.m. or 8 p.m. We study 6 days a week. Our children are okay with that. They're not tired. But children coming from outside, they have problems to follow our rhythm. So we think we'll do something like a startup class, which will accelerate people, children from outside to our level. So now I would like to show a small video where you'll see our space where we study. It's very basic. I mean, we have very basic conditions. So it's not suitable for everyone, not suitable for those who are used to comfort, because we live in nature. And for example, during this winter, children lived in an army tent, but it's heated. It's all like, it's quite comfortable. I stay there overnight as well sometimes. And there in this video, you'll see things from our past. So things, how they started, for example, to do choreography, like mountain dancing, how they started to turn Cossack swords. And also some things are from, we filmed recently. So you also see how we look like now. Right, I'll show you the screen with this video. Yeah, I think it's like that. Yeah, by the way, as we are, do you see my screen?
We do.
Okay, this is our timetable. I mean, it's all in Russian, but you can see that, изменилось, да, в 7:30 встаем?
Да, это на эту неделю.
This week we start a bit later. Normally we wake up at 6:30 and we start our classes at 7. This week we did it a bit later. I didn't ask for the reason. I see it for the first time myself. But you can see that if the class, for example, on Monday is starting at 7 p.m., then, but it's not class, it's sauna. We have, on Monday, we have sauna. So if you see that something is starting at 6 p.m., then it can last until 8 p.m. In the first part of the day, we have normal school subjects. In the afternoon, we have things like chess, we have sketching, we have calligraphy, we have mountain choreography, we have sword turning, we have all sorts of creative activity, but we don't have the number of children to split them into, well, faculties like they do it in Slovo. So they all do it together. Right, I'll show you the video in the meantime.
You can make it a little bit lower, Nikolai.
Lower or louder?
Lower.
Like that?
A bit more.
Чтоб вступи в воду, не толочь. Душа обязана трудиться и день, и ночь, и день, и ночь. Гони ее от дома к дому, тащи с этапа на этап. По пустырю, по бурелому, через сугроб, через ухаб. Не разрешаю спать в постели при свете утренней звезды. Держи лентяйку в черном теле и не снимай с нее усты. А таких думаешь поглажку, освобождая от работ. А на последнюю рубашку с тебя без жалости сорвет. Без жалости, без жалости, без жалости. А ты хватай ее за плечи, учи и мучай до темна. Чтоб жить с тобой по-человечи, училась заново она. Она рабыня и царица, она работница и дочь. Она обязана трудиться и день, и ночь, и день, и ночь.
Beautiful.
Well, some things we are doing much better now because most things are from summer and autumn. Just a moment. I'm trying to figure out how to stop the.
I want to say, Nikolai, it looks like your computer is getting low on battery too.
Low battery. Okay.
I want to make sure you don't disconnect.
No, we won't disconnect. I'll
okay.
I'll sort it out in a moment. So you see, it's all very basic. It's all in nature. But I saw some questions what I wanted to briefly answer, because there was a question about spiritual development, spiritual base. Well, what I would like to say, we are completely civil school. We don't have any spiritual doctrine. We don't have any religion, because first of all, our children see the religion, well, slightly from above, something that was in the past, because they communicate directly with the nature. They see how things work, and they see it from a completely different perspective than people saw before. So basically, why would they need some intermediary if they can talk to God directly? This is one thing, but we don't teach them how to do it. They teach us. You see, because they don't have any background, they can do it like straightforwardly and easily. But at the same time, we understand that we are not the only conscious beings on this planet. You see, trees, all trees, animals, like river, mountains, they're also conscious. So we try to make children understand this, but again, they can teach us more than we can do. So we learn from them. But if you have some interesting guests, some people even came to us from Latin America. We had some shamans, yeah, who taught our children how to do it in practice, how to talk to a river, how to receive an answer, how to see the world from the perspective of a tree, from the top, from the top of the tree, and it actually worked. So we have some amazing people coming here, and well, of course, we check who these people are in the first place, yeah, so that they don't carry any kind of, they're not part of some kind of sect, they don't carry any well, basically any stupidity or anything like that. Yeah, we don't want well, our children, they would understand that you know, that this is not worth it to listen to this particular person, but we basically try to save their time. But otherwise, we are very welcome to people who are ready to come from another place in the world, and we will tell our children their vision, or teach them their skills, or explain how people live in their places. So we are ready to teach, but we're also happy to learn. For example, for this summer, we would be very happy to receive volunteers who teach our children English, because this is one of the problems here. It's very hard to find a decent English teacher, but who's actually a native speaker. Because we want to go to a bigger world, we want to help found schools in other places, but for this we need to communicate. Yes. Plus, our children love their land, we love our land, but we're in Russia, but at the same time, we see it in a way that Russia is an integral part of this world. Like, this planet is inseparable into, I mean, division into countries is very subjective. Into countries and nations, we can cooperate together. But for this, we have to talk, we have to communicate, we have to bring up our children together in this particular way. Because what comes out from public schools in the West, or what comes out from private schools in Russia, basically this is what forms this harsh system in this world that deprives us of resources, that limits freedom, and which creates wars. Yes, so this is why we need to do it in a different way. We need to work together. So far, no one notices that we do this kind of things because we are not registered. But at one point, we should be able to take over state schools, to join them as teachers, as principals, and to bring this system there. Yes, we also need to create teams of children who will be able to come to a school which is just about to start, like we were, you know, in like 2 years ago, with no experience, with no team of teachers or children, who would be able to create this team there and then go somewhere else. And this is what is very important. I have 2 students from my school here. One is Taina, the other one is Miron. Come over, please. Подойди сюда, пожалуйста. And what I wanted to ask them, because there were also questions, I looked through them in Q&A about relationship with the family, because it is true that our children spend most of the time with each other. They don't communicate with their parents much, but at the same time, I would say that parents have their own life, especially like our parents are very creative mostly, so they have their own project and they don't have much time for their children either. Plus, in some cases, when I see when you look at parents who take their children to normal state schools, I would say that children should be saved from these parents for a while, and then they can return to their parents and save their parents. But for this, they need proper bringing up.
Well said.
Well, Miron will tell you about how the relationship changed in their family when we started the school. Мирон, как раз можешь, пожалуйста, рассказать про то, что я тебе вот тебя просил, да, рассказать, как отношения в твоей семье изменились. Да?
Ну, у меня сначала были очень большие проблемы по взаимодействию со своими сестрами старшими.
Пауза. Is anyone translating us, or should I
I
translate?
can if you like. I'm here if you like me to translate.
Okay, good.
By the way, Nikolai, do you think you could turn off the blur feature so that way the students don't get cut out?
Blur feature, how do I do it?
Yeah, it's like you go to the video settings, you click where the video icon is and click video settings on there. And then it should say something about the blur.
Okay.
Or they can just come closer to the camera if that's possible.
Right, what we do, yeah, video settings.
Thanks for your patience, everybody. Appreciate it.
It
doesn't work.
No, I don't see how to do it, but I can place Miron here.
Yeah.
Мирон, начни, пожалуйста, заново немножечко, чтобы тебя переводили, и после каждых двух фраз останавливайся.
Хорошо. Да. Ну, хотел рассказать, что у меня были поначалу очень большие проблемы со своими сестрами старшими. Это Любава и Забава. Им, получается, 13 и 11 лет. 14?
And by the way, if you can just make sure, Nikolai, that he can speak in short phrases, like 2 sentences, just so Anastasia can translate.
Потому что тебя должны перевести. Right. I'll translate him so far that in the beginning, Miron had, well, he comes from a big family, from a large family. Currently, there are 9 children in this family. He had severe problems with his younger sisters, Lyubava and Zabava. Miron is currently 15, Lyubava is 14, and Zabava is 13, 12, she's 12. So now I'm passing on to Miron. Так, у тебя были проблемы с сестрами.
Да. Я никак не мог с ними найти язык общий, то есть не было общего занятия, не было...
I didn't know how to communicate with them. Nikolai, is it okay if I just continue, or would you like to?
Yeah.
Okay. So we had problems communicating. We had troubles with our communication.
Дальше.
Ну вот, когда началась школа, они не хотели никак заниматься, никак как-то помогать в образовании своем.
When the school started, they didn't want to study. They didn't want to help with their own education.
Продолжи.
Но потихонечку они начали включаться в образование свое, в коммуникацию. У нас начало получаться общее дело, общее занятие.
So slowly they started to include. They started to get more active in their education process, and in the communication is also started to improve.
Ну вот у нас начала общая какая-то цель, научиться какому-то чему-то новому, какое-то общее место, в котором мы можем общаться, так скажем.
So we got a common goal. We got a place where we can communicate, like a space where we have common goal and we can communicate better.
И мы начали потихонечку сближаться, и вот сейчас у нас достаточно вот самые лучшие отношения, которые вот были за все время, получается.
And we slowly began to get closer emotionally, and at this moment, our relationship is best it's ever been.
В принципе, достаточно. Well, what I can say for myself, because what I noticed in the beginning is total disrespect from their sister towards him. It was actually quite painful to look at it. But now it's actually touching how they care about each other. This is what I see. And parents are happy as well because they know that their children study, that they have a goal. They come home happy. They help their parents during the weekend. No more quarreling, no more yelling at each other. So generally, relationship in this family became more harmonic. And this is why their parents thought that it's a good idea to give birth to another child. Right, and what I can also tell that it was very difficult to include his sisters into the process because they were walking around. We started the summer camp, we started the school, and they were walking around, mostly ignoring us. So this was difficult for me, but I wanted eventually them to be included. So I started things like trips together to different places, absolutely unsuitable for education, like completely wild places where they had to stick to each other, where they had to help each other because there was practically no choice to do otherwise. And this is how the team was built up, because after 4 or 5 trips like that, they really became best friends. They became a team. Because when they were in their home space in our cultural center, they split into groups again. Into their groups, they did things. They were mostly in their gadgets. They didn't study. They didn't want anything. But once they had several trips like that, they became a team of friends, a brotherhood we have now. I will pass a word to Taina, who studies in our school, and she will tell you about how she was included in the process.
Great. Thank you, Miron.
Hello.
Welcome.
Ну, расскажи, как ты включилась в этот процесс, почему ты вначале не подключалась, да, и потом как произошло то, что подключилась ты потом уже. Двумя фразами. 2 фразы, пауза, 2 фразы, пауза.
Ну, мне кажется, что раньше мне не хватало как-то уважения, что ли, или мне кажется, что я была немножко слишком, не знаю, как сказать, бешеной, что ли. Я не слушалась взрослых, вела себя не особо хорошо, как бы.
So I think basically I was lacking some respect. I didn't want to listen to elders. I was a little bit crazy. I just wanted to do whatever was in my mind.
Так как знанием как бы у меня всегда было, я учиться люблю, но...
Переводите можете.
I always liked to study. I always had a desire to learn new things.
Но мне как-то, как будто, мне все время казалось, что мне не хватает времени. Я начинала заниматься какими-то совершенно бесполезными делами, и в итоге на учебу у меня оставалось очень мало времени, и потом, как бы, мне это самой не особо нравилось, но как-то я не могла это никак исправить.
I wanted to learn different things. I had a desire, but I always felt like I didn't have time. I would study for a little bit, but then I would switch to doing something else, and I couldn't focus and find I couldn't find that focus on continuing to learn.
В самом начале, когда начало было нашего образовательного процесса, в многие уроки я была совершенно не вовлечена, как бы могла пропустить урок или не прийти на него, как бы, или уйти с него, наоборот.
In the beginning of the learning process, I wasn't involved in that whole education. I could just skip a lesson. I could not come to a lesson, and I didn't feel motivated.
Но относительно недавно, этим летом, нас собрали, ну, можно сказать, практически в поход. Мы поехали, и за это время у нас собрался некий коллектив, и сначала мы больше не в образовании были, как бы, ну, как это сказать?
Стоп, думай.
This summer we were gathered as a group. We went on a trip together, and in the beginning it wasn't so much focused on learning. It was focused on us connecting and developing relationships.
Вот. Вначале мы просто как бы вместе, ну, так сказать, занимались какими делами, там, не знаю, вместе выкладывали какие-то каменные дорожки, вместе готовили, как бы вместе жили в там, небольшом домике. У нас были такие занятия, как рисование, там, ну, что-то такое простенькое.
So in the beginning, we didn't learn much, but we did different things, like we were building the path from the stones together. We lived in little houses. We did little tasks that were creative.
Но затем нам начали все больше и больше именно включать предметов, ну, образовательных, как бы, ну и постепенно мы начали втягиваться. Вначале было довольно трудно, как бы, ну, казалось, что нагрузка большая, но теперь уже получается, если у нас будет выходной больше 2 дней, то уже трудно, уже как бы хочется поскорее, чтобы учебные дни начались, не знаю.
And then slowly we got more subjects added to our, at first it was just drawing, and then we had more subjects added to our learning process, and we got more involved in the educational part. And now when we have a weekend, we actually feel like we're missing something, like we feel like we need more things to do and things to study.
Я думаю, что это достаточно, наверное.
Но
She lost her thought. Because actually, she's a bit shy and worried.
It's okay. She's doing well.
Сказали, ты молодец.
If she doesn't want to speak anymore, it's okay.
Ты хочешь еще что-то сказать?
Yes. Wait a second. Ну, что еще? Блин, я мысль потеряла. Сейчас.
Just a moment.
Блин.
Ты говорил, что ты с нетерпением ждешь окончания выходного, чтобы дальше учиться, чтобы что-то новое было. Вот, что, ну, поняла, да? Что 2 дня выходного — это уже много.
Я забыла совершенно, что я хотела сказать. Блин.
She's worried that she forgot to tell something important.
It's okay. If it comes back to her, she can easily, interject again.
Помнишь? She understands you. So good.
Okay. Perfect. Yeah, that was great. Thank you.
Right. I think it's all we wanted to say. We're trying to grow a bit bigger. I think that we'll grow up to 40 students. We'll stop at that point. Maybe we'll help others to grow. We'll leave a space for other children to come to our school. Currently, we're thinking about making a new building. Очень не вовремя, Андрей. Currently, we're thinking about building a new building because we want them to be in a beautiful place, in comfortable conditions. So great, big work ahead. Also, we are self-financed, so we basically get money from wherever we can. Currently, the universe helps us, but I mean, it's quite a big project. So of course, we appreciate any help we come across. Right, this is what all I wanted to tell. I think we can, if there are other speakers, we'll be happy to listen to them. Otherwise, we can join Slovo and return and go to questions and answers.
Thank you, Nikolai. Somebody in the comments says, respect to Nikolai. What a great man. It was a great reception to everything you had to share there. People love the video and the work that you're doing. It's beautiful what you guys have going on there. So thank you for sharing. I'd love to get links. You were saying that if people would want to volunteer as English teachers, for example, I'd love to be able to share your contact information. And
I will send you the links. Also, we have a small YouTube channel where you can see some of our videos. Yes, and I see some questions. Yeah, we did start this. The actual school started this year, this summer, 2021. Because before we tried it several times and it didn't work. So we had successful summer camps, but when coming to complete school education, it was our third attempt which became successful.
Interesting. And I want to let our friends at Slovo know that we're ready for questions now. So I don't know if anybody, Anastasia, Svetlana, somebody wants to let them know, but we're going to move into the Q&A section now.
Ребята, сейчас мы переходим на вопросы-ответы как раз. То есть сейчас будет, да, участие всех, все понятно, да, хорошо. Yeah, they're ready.
Okay, great. And I'm gonna feel free, either, Nikolai or our friends at Slovo. These questions, a lot of them came in during when Slovo was presenting, but I think it's perfectly fine for either to answer the questions just so they know. I'm just going to go in a random order here. So Jen asked, I'm curious about the funding for the program. Does the government support this type of education and supply funding, or are there fees the parents pay? And this question was directed towards Slovo.
Первый вопрос обращен к школе Слова, и он о финансировании школы. Есть ли у вас какое-то финансирование от государства, или вас финансируют все-таки родители, там есть какая-то оплата за обучение из семей детей?
Hello, my name is Lina. Я, пожалуй, буду на русском.
Как хотите.
Да, спасибо. Финансирование – это частный образовательный проект. Вот, финансирование осуществляется за счет средств родителей тех учеников, кто у нас находится в центре.
Okay, so it's a private educational project. So financing is done through the parents of children involved in the program.
И также мы имеем поддержку от спонсоров, которые заинтересованы в развитии образовательной среды.
And we have some support from sponsors that are interested in developing educational area, educational aspect.
Great. There was a question about something Diana was saying. Petru was asking, I actually would like to understand about the professors' integration of different subjects within them and between them. If you're able to speak on that a bit more.
Okay, it was So, oh, you're good? Okay.
Yeah.
She's got it.
Perfect. Welcome.
Просто I would translate it in Russian first.
Sure.
спрашивают, ну, один из вопросов насчет того, как преподаватели интегрируют, систематизируют предмет внутри, вообще как это происходит, что ты думаешь?
Ну, тебе лучше ответить на этот вопрос.
Well, actually, I explained a little bit before, but what I want to add to that, well, our method that we use, why the integration and systematization is essential and it's important, because when we have, for example, there is a flat subject that we didn't use, that we didn't use in our system. It could be anything. Our method, actually, the immersion method, could be used to any subjects, any information, any knowledge, maybe I would say like that. And actually, in my life, it helps me, and it was helping me, and helps right now, like in different areas, in my job, or in my job as a teacher, or in other jobs. So it's a method where we take, for example, a unit or a phenomenon or something from a subject, and we connect this phenomenon to each part of the subject. For example, what it could be, if we talk about my chemistry, it could be something like that. So, for example, we have atoms, and for example, I need to connect, or children, they should understand, or they would understand how an atom is connected to everything in this subject, or how atom is connected to a cell in our body, or to I don't know, to the something in geography or in physics, So when I can make this like inter-subject connections, I can show them that all of the subjects are a whole one. So we are talking about our life, and all of these subjects are parts of our life. So we talk about nature, basically. And so when I can do that during my lessons, when I can explain to them these connections inside one subject and between some subjects, they understand, yeah, we talk about the same thing, but from different sides. So we can make connection, and we have courses, for example, when we connect biology and chemistry, and that's obvious, but for example, chemistry and geography, biology, geography, and physics and chemistry, or an integration means when we connect them. So there could be, like, you can use this one as you want. For example, you take, I don't know, economics, or I don't know, management, something, and you know that there are some basics, some basic aspects that everybody should know, or some like essential parts that will help you to work or to understand everything. And so, of course, if one wants to like to deepen there, of course, there are, like, endless things to learn, of course. But if we talk about the school curriculum, of course, there are some, not, and I won't say boards, but we have a program, or actually in our school, we can go or we can use information that is much more than the school program. So this allows us to have much more time to study something that we should learn, and also give children a chance to use this information by themselves. So they can come to our lessons. We say, so listen, guys, we have today this theme, for example, this part of chemistry. So you should go, I don't know, search in the internet or use some books, anything, and make us a, we call it concept, like a paper on a piece of paper. You need to combine all of this information and make us a one whole thing, how you see it after your research. So they go to an unknown thing, to an unknown information, they take it, process it, like analyze it, and like squeeze it, as I mentioned before, and take just the main part, and they show to everybody this main part after all of this research. So that's why we like the time frame of learning a subject becomes much more shorter.
That makes sense. That was a wonderful explanation. Thank you.
Thank you.
This is a question for both schools here. I'd like, Chiara is asking, I'd like to ask about the curricula you use, if any, and about educators and teachers training. Anastasia, if you want to translate that, and then I'll read the rest of the question.
Yes, next question is for all the schools. I'd like to know which curriculum you use.
Russian.
No,
It happens all the time. My wife does it too.
Следующий вопрос, извините за парку. В общем, спрашивают обе школы, используете ли вы какую-то определенную программу, план, куррикулум для обучения? Спрашивает Тиара.
And the second part of the question is, so she's asking about educators and teachers training. She says, how do you handle that, the educator and teacher training, and how could it be reproducible for us in our communities where people are starting schools?
И продолжение вопроса: каким образом вы организуете процесс обучения учителей, и как эта задача, как она применима к нашей реальности? Можем ли мы... So the second, like the last part was like about applying their system here in the Western world, basically, right?
Yes, like if you want to start your own school or anywhere where somebody is running like education.
Да, и последняя, третья часть о том, как вообще кто-либо может начать собственную школу, как можно применить ваши знания другим людям, которые, может быть, не находятся в России, а не находятся в других странах.
Кто начнет?
Давайте вы, а мы подхватим.
No, right. We have quite a good experience in starting with a new school, because Slovo has a huge background and traditions, so it was much easier for them. But they helped us in a way that they helped to form our team of children and pedagogues. So this is what we can do for others as well, because in order to start a school, first of all, we have to have a children body, that a children community, like a body, you know, that they work together as one body. And this is the most difficult part, because in the beginning they don't understand what it is, they don't have an incentive to do it. So they have to have a vision in the first place, and for this they actually have to come to a place where they can be pollinated, you know, contaminated by the idea. So we can provide this kind of space in our community, because it will be first of all, we'll have experience with that, plus we have a possibility to help to work with children from other background. Plus, note that Russian is not a very difficult language to learn once you are in the community. If you don't speak Russian, we can help to speak. Plus, it will be a mutual process, so we'll learn English. So somehow children, even if they don't speak each other's language, they manage to interact with each other and help to and translate each other's ideas. So this is a good part. About how to start it in the West, I would suggest, well, if you don't have centers like that in the West, then it's better to come to Russia somehow. I know how to arrange such visits from Germany. I have connections there with the Russian Cultural Center and Embassy. It is possible. Some volunteers are going to visit us this summer. We have agreed on that. And even during the war, there are flights from Turkey, from Serbia to Russia. Just a second, I forgot what was the other part of the question about.
It was about teacher training, like how do you handle teacher training?
Right. Well, teacher training, it is true that we don't have many professional pedagogues, many professional teachers. So these mainly people who had experience. Some of them studied in Schetenin school, from where Slovo also came from. We have 3 pedagogues like that, 3 teachers like that, but otherwise I'm looking for methodologies for prominent teachers who share their ideas, and this is costly because you have to send your teachers somewhere to learn. Not everything is taught distantly. Plus, when it's over Skype or over Zoom, you don't translate this energy, and you can't do many things practically. For example, we have a very skilled calligraphy teacher, but I actually had to send him to Crimea to study with a prominent person, with a professional in this field. How would you do it distantly? I mean, it's calligraphy. But when some teachers can come to our school to show us their methods, their skills. But in this case, we choose our people, both adults and children, who can pick up the knowledge from them, the methods, and start practicing them. So it's a many-way process. In one case, I took Miron and Taina to Omsk. It's in Siberia, so it's about 4 hours flights from us to meet children in our school, and I took one of my teachers to one of our teachers to see, to assess, to analyze the methods of study. So this is quite a big actually work. Currently, we're able to share it, but really it's a lot of research and it's a lot of money as well for the trips, for the courses you buy them. What is a good idea that what I thought what is a very good idea, and I agreed with some also small family schools on that we buy courses together, we share them. So we decide who takes the course, who studies there, from which school is that person, yes, and then this person teaches everyone else what he learned. This is a cost-effective way. It's a good way of cooperation, because small schools have to cooperate. Then what else didn't I answer?
Well, it was about how to reproduce this model of education in our own kind of schools, but I think you addressed it. But if you want to continue.
Yeah, you have to come over to a place where it's being practiced, because otherwise it's very difficult. It was very difficult even for us, because you have to catch the atmosphere.
So the best way would be for any Americans or otherwise people from other countries to come to Russia. And
yeah, because also note that educational system in the West is very totalitarian, actually. You can't make things up. You can't really do things you want, especially if you are in Germany. I mean, it's a criminal offense if your child doesn't go to school, for example. Distance learning is absolutely excluded. So a good thing is to find maybe some kind of English language distance learning program. Yes. And what I did in the Czech Republic, for example, with my daughter, for 1 year she didn't go to school when there was this COVID business, this how you call it, this disease, Corona business. I told that she left abroad. In fact, she didn't. So they stopped looking for us and managed her educational process myself. So this could be a way, but you really have to search for a distance learning program for the children, for a school that will be able to assess and to issue diplomas. I'm also in search for this kind of things in English, but my capabilities in this case are limited. Because really, I work in my school for a while, like practically all the time, looking for resources, looking for teachers, looking for new methods, figuring out where to get money from, and etc., etc., etc.
Nikolai, I would love to connect with you further outside of the event, so that way I could put some of your school's information on the Anastasia Foundation website, and that way people potentially interested could contact you. I'd love to do that. Thank you for your answer on that question. And I wanted to mention something too that Nikolai just reminded me of. For those of you who are in the United States and are looking to homeschool your children without any regulation, you might want to look into something called a private education association. I'll just leave it like that. Look into that. It's a private entity that you can form yourself, and you can homeschool and educate your children, start a school in whatever way you see fit without any regulation. Private Education Association, PEA. So just a little side note. So we had two people asking the same question, and this is a question for both schools. To what extent is technology used in your schools?
Мы ответим, да, тоже на этот вопрос?
Да,
Отвечайте вы.
Да, мы тоже хотели ответить на эти три вопроса. Первый вопрос звучал по поводу учебного года, если не ошибаюсь, да, Анастасия? Вы на связи?
Да нет, сразу.
Да. Да, учебный год у нас строится по учебному плану, и мы в начале учебного года полностью планируем все наши погружения, которые будут проходить в течение учебного года последовательно. Тем самым мы закладываем всю образовательную программу, укладываем ее в учебный год.
Я переведу. So in terms of plans, educational plan, we create our own curriculum. We plan every immersion ahead in the beginning of the year, before the beginning of the year. So we have that system that we create ourselves.
Часть преподавателей находится у нас здесь в центре. Они являются профессиональными педагогами, которые имеют возможность, ну, во-первых, имеют и опыт, и дипломы, и квалификацию для преподавания нескольких предметов параллельно.
Okay. Part of our teachers is located right here at the center, and they usually have multiple subjects that they are like they have education to teach different subjects, and so they handle one of them will handle a few different subjects.
Мы придерживаемся формата офлайн. Онлайн очень редко у нас бывает, потому что мы понимаем, что главное в обучении — это, конечно, взаимодействие в группах, взаимодействие с педагогом. И у нас есть еще один круг преподавателей, кто к нам приезжает по запросу, какие-то доктора наук, например, люди с более высокой квалификацией. То есть мы наш процесс оживляем нашими такими сторонними преподавателями, помощниками.
All of our process is done in person, in class learning, in group learning. We do different projects, and we enrich our program by inviting people that have degrees, PhD, doctorate degrees in different subjects that we are studying.
Если у детей возникает интерес к этому предмету, да, к какому-либо, то в дальнейшем у нас есть сопровождение в онлайн-формате уже тех педагогов, тех преподавателей, которые смогли бы этот интерес развить и углубить знания у ребят. Но сначала, конечно, это взаимодействие напрямую, вживую.
In the case that somebody, some child would like to continue learning of a certain subject, we can facilitate that in online way so that they continue to work with that teacher of that subject. So there's that option as well.
Что касается третьего вопроса по поводу стажировок, у нас есть такая программа, она заключается в несколько этапов. Первый этап – это когда к нам приезжают на наши летние программы преподаватели. Можно перевести.
In terms of teacher training, we have a few different stages that we implement. The first stage is when different teachers come to our place and in our location to train the teachers.
Мы приглашаем преподавателей на наши летние программы и сопровождаем их в течение вот этого летнего периода.
Okay, so we invite the teachers to our summer camp program and we shadow them during that program.
Во-первых, это педагогическая практика на базе наших программ погружения в предмет.
It's a method, it's a pedagogical method based on our immersion program.
Во-вторых, это предоставление методического сопровождения, то есть та методическая база, которая позволит в дальнейшем уехать к себе в школу и, основываясь на ней, эту работу, так скажем, организовать.
The second stage is providing methodological support to the teachers that will allow them to continue that work, to continue using the methods of our school in a different location.
Третий формат, когда преподаватель, находясь у нас в лагере, да, находясь в наших образовательных программах, получает консультации всех тех звеньев, которые организуют работу. Это и научно-методическая, это и работа с детьми, как с наставниками, и какая-то организационно-правовая история.
And the third format is when the teachers, извините, получается, учителя опять же приезжают к вам в третьем случае, да?
Это все один случай.
Это все один случай.
Да, приехали, получили, проходят практику, получают методическое сопровождение и консультации специалистов по разным уровням процессов, по разным уровням, да, по разным направлениям.
And the third stage is after they go through the first two stages, they can get learning in science methodological ways, then also in how to facilitate children leadership, how children can lead the groups. And the third part is how they can organize it legally. Третья часть была по поводу уже организации юридической, да? Или...
Ну, юридической в том числе, да. Но тут как бы, если международная история, возможно, там своя специфика есть, конечно.
Okay, yes. So there's a third stage that supports, just completes the process and shows them a few different things that they need to completely organize the process on their own later on.
Ну и также летние лагеря у нас, мы приглашаем ребят, у нас вот есть уже команда ребят, кто едет из Анголы, те, кто едут у нас из других стран, которые смогли бы сами дети поучаствовать в летних лагерях, в программах наших, и ну, тем самым тоже напитаться той средой, которую мы создаем. То есть мы открыты. Да, конечно.
We run summer camps where we invite, we currently have groups joining. We have children from Angola joining our summer camps. We're welcoming people from other countries to come to our summer camp immersion program.
Ну и если, конечно, преподаватель приезжает со своими ребятами, то это в дальнейшем можно на них, опираясь, выстраивать свою работу уже в своей локации, в своей школе, в своей стране. То есть преподаватель совместно с ребятами, и мы прокачиваем два сразу фронта: и детей, которые являются в дальнейшем лидерами, и преподавателей, кто будет организовывать этот процесс.
And in case a teacher comes with the group of children, it's not just a teacher training, it's more of like a group training of both teacher and children. So because children are involved in the process, they get a training to further support the teacher at their location. They can just continue with the process. So it makes it much easier for them to organize it, to organize the school in their location.
И в дальнейшем, после прохождения стажировки преподавателей, мы организуем такую поддержку в дальнейшем. Это, у нас есть разные программы сопровождения, это программы «Спутник», «Союз», разные формы взаимодействия с организованными школами, частными школами, семейными школами. То есть, возможно, разные формы дальнейшего сотрудничества и взаимоподдержки.
And we offer the continuing support. We have a few different levels of support for different kinds of program, whether it's private education or more group, like a bigger project schools. So we offer different formats and different variety of support to those teachers that already went through the practical learning at our school.
And I would like to add like a little information about online format. So when it comes to online, actually we understand that this is the reality of the world. So as we understand this, we've started a project. We're developing an online project with the teachers of Amonashvili. Maybe you heard about him, academician, actually a good friend of Schetenin Mikhail Petrovich. Maybe you heard about him or not. I don't know. Actually,
I don't think most of our audience has heard of him.
Oh, actually, maybe after our meeting, we can send some links or something like that. But actually, it's a big movement in Russia. They call themselves like humanity pedagogues, something like that. So the teachers that would teach in the best way, in like through love, like through peace, through understanding, etc. Something like that in a few words. So we have a big and serious online project with them where we want to carry our methods to immersion, the immersion into subjects to online.
And this is education for students, correct? Online?
Yes.
Gotcha. Great. And that actually segues perfectly into my next question. A few people were asking, to what extent is technology used in your schools?
Well, we practically don't use it, only for distance learning, because, for example, if we have some kind of good teacher who is far away, then we can connect with him online. But otherwise, really, we don't have much time for technology. So, for example, we prefer, working with paper, for example, so paper presentations, in comparison with PowerPoint. So we try to make them draw to express themselves. So really, we don't have time for this sort of technology. I don't know if it's good or bad, but it's like that.
Great. And if anybody from Slova wants to answer that question.
Вопрос был об использовании технологий. Если школа слова хочет что-то добавить по поводу использования технологий в вашей школе, то, пожалуйста, можете взять слово.
Да, добрый день. Значит, процесс развивается у нас интенсивно, и проекты у нас, они усложняются, они приобретают новые черты в связи с тем, что мир меняется, и вызовы к форме образования, они тоже меняются.
So we have very complicated projects that keep developing and the world keep changing. We have a lot of different aspects that keep evolving.
Да, на сегодня одним из самых сложных вопросов это вопрос, насколько система работает эффективно.
Today, the most important question is how effective our system is.
Мы понимаем, что те результаты учебные, которые существуют, оценки по предметам итоговые, они не отражают развитие качества личности ребенка.
We realize that the current educational standards, извините, это было не отражает развитие ребенка. Это что было?
Оценки в школе,
Оценки.
они...
Okay. We realize that the current rating system, where the children get like rating of their work, they don't actually reflect their development, their actual skills and what they're capable of.
Мы с этого года вводим инструменты, которые позволяют оценить климат внутри коллектива, увидеть успешность развития ребенка по таким параметрам, как мышление, по таким параметрам, как коммуникабельность, по таким параметрам, как способность ребенка воспринимать знания и учиться. То есть мы можем ответить на вопрос, успешно ребенок прошел год благодаря этим инструментам, оценивая его как многогранную личность.
Okay, now we're integrating different tools to assess children's many different aspects of children's development, such as their thinking, their communication ability, their ability to learn and assimilate a new knowledge. So it's like a multidimensional measuring system that we are working on at the moment.
Great.
Хорошо.
Thank you. So there's another question. Wyatt, I think he asked this question to the students at Slova. He was asking, what futures are you preparing for yourselves and for your families? What example will you be for the world?
Короче, какое мы будущее у себя видим и у нашей семьи. Сейчас я подумаю.
Anybody can go.
Well, what we see, for example, we want our children to become masters of their life, like happy people. We don't want them to go to like job market as employees. We want them to be creators, not only job creators, but to follow their life path, to understand what their life path is, as we understood, because we can be examples for them in this way. So this is our goal, and to share this idea by through their own examples.
And do we need to translate that last question, or you guys understand it?
We understood,
Okay.
yes.
Great.
Я тогда начну отвечать. Вы переведете, может? Ладно. В общем, если говорить про свое будущее, там через 10 лет, через 15, я вижу его связанным с нашим проектом Центра слова, школы. Ну, да, пока что можно это перевести.
Да я тебя люблю.
If I speak about my future, I see myself in 10-15 years connected to our project Slovo.
Я хочу развиваться как в личностном росте и тем самым улучшать нашу школу.
I would like to continue my personal growth, and by that I will improve our school and improve the environment at our school.
Ну, также был вопрос про семью, и если честно, то я считаю, опыт, который мы нарабатываем сейчас в школе, очень пригодится нам в этом, поскольку образование — это и есть то, что как бы происходит в первую очередь в семье. Поэтому я хочу заложить те же ценности в своей семье.
And there was a question about family. I'd like to say that education at this school really helps the family connection as well, because education primarily is coming, like is supposed to come from the family. So what we're learning here is the skills that help in interpersonal relationships. So I will be using it for my own future family.
И также хочу сказать, что поскольку сейчас все очень быстро меняется, и даже я не могу предсказать, если я отучусь по одной профессии, я буду работать по той же профессии, поэтому пока что я не знаю конкретно, по какому направлению я пойду, но я знаю, что это будет связано с тем, что закладывается сейчас.
Okay, and because of the world changing so quickly, I cannot predict the exact my exact future job or exact future vocation that I will end up doing, but I know that it will be connected to this process, to something I'm doing right now.
Our girls.
I will try to answer in English. I want to say that I think that we can't speak about the happy future if we are not happy now. And I can say that in this school, I feel really, really happy because I do what I like. And what about my family? I have 3 younger sisters and 1 younger brother, and I hope they will study here after me. Yes, that's it.
So I try to say in English too. I think the students in our school can become in the future to teacher, and it is so beautiful and incredible thing. And I think if I can learn in this school, I can make my personality grateful, and it's so beautiful.
Thank you. So this is again for the students here at Slova. Stanley in the comments is asking, did your parents choose to send you to this school, or did you make the decision to go?
Can you repeat, please?
So yeah, the question is, did your parents decide to send you to the school, or did you decide to go?
То есть мы решили или нас отправили?
Ну, в смысле, изначально же, если родители не
узнали.
Олег. Ну, разные, давайте разные.
Я начну. У меня вообще отдельная история. Я сначала познакомился с Шалвой Манашвили, это друг Михаила Петровича, и он мне сам рассказал об этой школе.
I'm gonna start. So I have a story. I met Shalva Amanashvili, who is a good friend of Mikhail Schetenin, and he told me about that school.
Он мне посоветовал приехать, посмотреть. Это еще было в Текосте, когда была школа. Вот. Ну и я как-то загорелся этим и решил сам поступить.
So he recommended me to come and start education at that school. I got really interested, so I came here and I started learning.
I can tell on English too. Как сказать, узнала? I knew about the school 3 years ago. I walk with my friend and she tells me about it. She know about its school because her brother learned there. And then just как-то через 1 месяц. After a month from this moment, I go to the school and let's learning there. That's all. I wanted myself from myself.
Right, it was your decision.
And I tell to my parents like, please.
That's amazing. That's amazing.
So I was at summer camp, and then I think it's so beautiful, and I think I want to learn in this school. And then I decided to go to school. This school, it's beautiful school. Yeah, that's my story.
Now it's my turn. My parents offered me to go to the school. I didn't want to do this because how can I live so far from home without family? I don't know, but I stayed here for 3 or 2 days, and I understood that it's really my place, and I feel home here. And
That's beautiful. And leading into the next question, somebody wanted to know, can we have a little demonstration of how things are worked, like problems are worked out between you, and how it is kind of living without your parents?
Вопрос о том, могли бы вы продемонстрировать, как вы решаете разные вопросы, особенно в том смысле, что вокруг нет родителей, семьи. Как происходит сам вопрос решения проблем, может быть, ситуаций каких-то? Именно попросили продемонстрировать, то есть я не знаю, какой-то пример.
Что-то возникло, да, какая-то проблема, какой-то вопрос, например, и как вы ее решаете без родителей?
If we have
По-русски говорить.
Можешь подробно объяснить?
Ладно, давайте по-русски.
You can try, it's fun.
Of course.
I can tell all Russian. Если у нас возникает проблема, какой-то конфликт между теми, кто живет вместе в комнате, мы можем ее решить с помощью нашей системы самоуправления. К примеру, если, сначала мы решаем...
Yeah, so we have a self-governing system, and if there is a conflict, for example, in one of the, when people share the rooms, there might be a conflict between the roommates. We use the self-governing system to solve it.
Сначала эта проблема решается на уровне самой комнаты с командиром комнаты. После этого она переходит на level up, в общем, выше, и решается с коллективом, то есть несколько комнат, которые в одном коллективе. И далее переходит на уровень педагогов, то есть педагогов, если она не решена.
Okay.
То есть, в смысле, решается сначала на маленьких уровнях, если не решена.
Yeah, so first, the problem is getting solved on a level of the room. So there's someone who is like elder in the room, and we try to solve it with their help. If that doesn't work, we can go like next level, which is a few different rooms, like a collective of a few different rooms. And if that doesn't work, we can go to our teachers to help us.
И также, конечно же, мы поддерживаем связь с родителями. То есть всегда, ну, во-первых, есть каникулы, на которых родители приезжают, и эта связь не прерывается. Вот.
We are still connected to our parents as well, and we have breaks, and parents come and visit us during the breaks. So the connection with the parents isn't lost. We still connect with the family.
Great. That's the full answer?
Yes.
Okay.
I mean, что-нибудь вы хотите добавить еще?
Я хочу сказать, вот также мы стараемся решить проблему без включения педагогического состава, вот, ну, сами.
I just would like to add that usually we try to solve a problem without involving the teachers. We try to do it on our own.
Вот, если происходит какая-то ситуация, у нас нет такого, что мы обвиняем именно кого-то одного. То есть у нас все построено так, что если, допустим, ну, не знаю, произошла какая-то, можно какая-нибудь, ну, какой-то конфликт, да, то в конфликте этом виноваты оба. То есть 50 на 50, две стороны.
So the assumption is that whenever there is a conflict, we assume that both parties are involved. It's not like it's somebody's fault. It's never one person's fault. So we try. It's 50-50. So we try to address both sides and look at both sides in the situation.
I would like to tell something else. Like to add something to we are involving our parents, like our parents, parents of our students, to our upbringing process. So we call it like we'll make a triangle of made of parents, teachers, and students. So by that we are like we're like on the same side, you know. So the upbringing process is not separated, like parents say something and one thing, teachers tell another thing, students and for example their friends tell something third, and so it goes on. So to make the upbringing process more effective, we are working like in this by these three groups, like in a triangle. This is the first thing. And the second thing is parents are coming, are visiting our school. We have a format of meetings with them where our students ask 100 questions to a parent, and you know, each parent has like its own background or some experience that they want to share, or for example, I don't know, they produce something, or they're directors of, I don't know, of a company, and they share their experience with the students, so they could see, oh, maybe I want to be like him, I want to do this, maybe. So they explain their life, they tell us about their life, so we take their experience, take their knowledge to us. And for example, these things are really like our students so like this thing about our school, and parents don't feel themselves, you know, separated from the children because they're far away, so they can come anytime. We have some parents that are you know, running meetings, I don't know, third or fourth or fifth time, but they always have something to say, and our students love them. So this is like another part of like our, you know, how do you call it? Relationships with parents.
Thank you. So another question, and I think this is for both schools. How do you see the role of the teacher? Like in your perspective, from your method, from your perspective, how do you see the role of the teacher for the students?
Какова роль учителя для менеджера?
Давай, Таисия.
Для нас роль учителя, ну, в нашей жизни, она бывает как на занятии, так и просто как бы в жизни, поскольку мы здесь живем. Две разных.
So for us, the role of the teacher has two aspects. First of all, it's during the lesson, a learning process, and also we have the role of the teacher during, because we have the same living space. So that's like a second role that each teacher has.
На занятиях это человек, который ведет учебный процесс и готов рассматривать себя как равностоящего. То есть он не возвышает себя и не говорит, что его слово закон, условно. Он принимает мнение каждого и готов как бы слушать и работать со всеми. То есть человек, который идет на сотрудничество во время занятий.
Okay, so during the lessons, we have a role of a teacher who never puts themselves above the others. They accept everyone's point of view. They include everyone in the learning process. It's very collaborative role.
А вторая их роль наших дорогих это в целом как бы проработка вместе с нами, как бы разговоры, возможно, какая-то помощь выслушать. В общем, как, можно сказать, даже наши друзья, так сказать, как родители, возможно, иногда заменяют. В том плане, что это может быть проработка как каких-то личных проблем, как каких-то вопросов. Возможно, мы хотим, ну, то есть помощь в наших каких-то начинаниях, открытость к любому вопросу.
And the second role is working through different situations, talking out, and so in that role, the teachers are more as friends or as parents. They help us solve personal problems. They help us. They support us. So it's more of a family-oriented role.
Что еще сказать?
А мы можем включить нашу ученицу, она расскажет, как она это видит.
Сейчас она начнет, она уже начала, потом мы продолжим.
Я бы добавила еще, что наши взаимоотношения... Я бы добавила, что наши взаимоотношения между учеником и учителем можно назвать еще дружескими, и учитель является старшим наставником для ученика, который может дать ему совет, направить его, и он все время рядом. Это человек, который является поддержкой и такой опорой ученика.
I just would like to add that our relationship with the teachers, so the teachers are very friendly figure. They're there, they're always there to support us, to help with any problems. So they're there as a family. Я что-то упустила, да, то есть учитель там, он поддерживает, помогает, он в роли друга выступает.
As a mentor, he's there as a mentor.
Okay, yeah, sorry, there was one more part to mention. The teacher is there as a mentor, so he mentors and continues that process of development of personal skills.
Got it, thank you. So another question here is, how do the teachers match lessons and tasks to each student's level of knowledge and ability? For example, I'm sorry?
Can we answer the previous question as well?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I'm sorry.
Говорить? Да. Ну, мое мнение во многом совпадает с мнением учеников слова. Буду частями говорить.
My opinion is basically matching most of the opinions that were just mentioned by students of Slovo.
Мы все как одна большая семья, и для меня учителя мои это вроде, не знаю, то ли вторых родителей, то ли, может быть, там каких-то добрых тетушек, там, не знаю, как-то так. Они всегда помогают, как бы на них можно опереться в любом вопросе, как бы могут помочь.
Yeah, for me, the teachers are definitely a friendly family, support people. They always help. I can always get support from them, and they remind me of some kind aunts. Sorry.
Uncles.
Or uncles. Yeah.
Так.
А мы, да.
Ну,
Good. Is that's the whole answer? Good.
с нашими учителями, мне кажется, нам очень легко, как бы находится легко общий язык. Мы от них ничего не таим, от нас, мне кажется, тоже, как бы мы очень хорошо с ними взаимодействуем, ну, по моему мнению, как бы. Мне кажется, что у нас, очень хорошие взаимоотношения. Как бы я не считаю, что как бы в школе в обычной... Ладно, переводите пока это.
So I just add that we have really good relationships. We don't hide anything from the teacher. We believe they don't hide anything from us. We feel that we have a very genuine communication and relationship. We interact well.
Ну, вот в обычной общеобразовательной школе учителя больше как... Ну да, они как бы стоят выше ученика, ученик их боится, как-то, не знаю, ненавидит. Отношения у них не очень хорошие. Мне кажется, во многом ученикам бывает наплевать на учителей, многим учителям тоже, до учеников нет дела. А у нас, ученик и учитель идет как, ребенок и родитель, не знаю, как-то другие взаимоотношения, в общем, более теплые.
If we think about conventional schools or public schools, usually there's a like vertical hierarchy where teachers stand above the students, and the students just have to obey. And it feels very. Sometimes it's a hostile environment. Sometimes it's very unpleasant to be a part of that, and sometimes it feels like nobody cares. And at the end of the day, it's not a warm or welcome space to be in. Whereas in my school, I feel like we have really warm emotional connection. We have real friendly emotional connection. So I feel good and I feel welcome there.
Нам дают свободно выражать наше мнение. Если нам что-то не нравится в форме преподавания учителя, как он как бы выдает материал, например, мы можем об этом сказать, и он учтет наше мнение и как бы подстроиться под нас так, чтобы нам было более комфортно. И мы по мере своих возможностей стараемся соблюдать дисциплину, делать так, чтобы учителю с нами тоже было комфортно. Вот.
In our school, the teacher listens to us. If we have something to add, something to suggest, the teachers welcomes our opinion and considers it, and it will actually adjust to include, but at the same time, we try to make it easy for the teacher. We don't we don't unnecessarily bother them, and overall, it's a really caring environment.
Но я думаю, вы, в общем, поняли, что я хотела сказать. Ну, в завершение я могу сказать только то, что я очень люблю своих учителей, и я думаю, что они тоже очень нас любят. Вот.
Да.
Yeah, I believe that I've said enough, and I just want to say that I really love my teachers, and I know that they love us as well.
Thank you very much.
Beautiful. Thank you. Thank you. I want to move on to the next question. So this is a very short question for both schools, and then there's another after. But what is the range of the ages taught in your schools?
Следующий вопрос для всех. Какой возраст, какое возрастное окно в ваших школах?
10 to 17, and mostly they study together. In some subjects, all the students have deeper learning, but most of the time they all study together. So elder students help younger, or sometimes actually it happens that younger ones understand the subject better. Our best dancers are actually younger children. They instruct older, so sometimes it's vice versa.
That's interesting, because that was part of the second question, was how do teachers match lessons and tasks to each student's level of knowledge and ability? For example, in mathematics, some older students may have a much greater depth of understanding and be able to cope with much more complex concepts than other younger students.
Габриэль просто повторил вторую часть вопроса о том, как учителя, как они подгоняют уровень, то есть занятий к уровню студентов, как они осуществляют эту задачу.
Да, мы можем ответить вот сейчас. Да, спасибо.
Ну, ты скажи про возраст, Anastasia.
А возраст вкусно. Давайте сразу на вопрос.
So we have different ages, 12 or 16, it's so a lot of ages.
Если говорить об успеваемости на уроках, то есть как учитель передает материал, понятно, что есть дети, которые, во-первых, старше, и поэтому им легче удается, есть, которые помладше. И вот когда учитель передает, например, какую-то тему, то ребята, у которых лучше получается, которые быстрее воспринимают материал, они помогают учителю объяснять более младшим ребятам. То есть, получается, выступают в роли учителей одновременно.
Sorry. Well, she's saying that when a teacher is running a class, and for example, we gave a piece of information. So with the help of like the students that are elder than the others and who understand faster maybe than the others, they help the teacher to you know, to give this information to more I don't know, to the students that don't understand, for example, or like the smaller ones, the smaller age group. So actually this is a really important thing, maybe, you know, or you saw this in the like normal like ordinary schools, when the classes are divided by the age, so 12 years old, 13 years old, and so on. So when we look at that classes, at that groups, we see that they don't raise each other. They connect with each other and they go down together. Yes, down. So, but when there are elder students, students that know more, that understand more, that are more emotionally stable, you know, they are, the smaller ones are looking up to them, and they see, oh, I can behave like in another way, I can do in another way. So all system is going up. And this, this phenomenon, I would say like that, is happening on our lessons too. So with the help of our elder students, we make our subjects like run and understandable for everybody.
Got it. Understood. Understood. Is there more to that, or?
Yes, there is more. My colleague wants to answer it. Her name is Larissa.
Okay.
Здравствуйте, меня зовут Лариса. Я являюсь одним из преподавателей в данной школе.
Hello, my name is Larissa. I'm one of the teachers in the school.
И у нас, конечно, небольшое количество детей, при этом достаточно большой возрастной разрыв. И, соответственно, большие разрывы в знаниях.
We don't have that many children in our school, but we have big gaps in the ages. So we actually have also gaps in skills and knowledge levels.
И в основном у нас дается информация уже за более старшие классы преподавателями. А с теми детьми, можете перевести.
So generally the information that is taught is a level of older grades.
Но при этом программа, она прописана, и дети, они могут ознакомиться с тем, какой материал им необходимо изучить. И то есть дети видят свои пробелы.
So and at the same time the curriculum is written and known, so the children can actually look ahead and see what's coming, and they can notice their own gaps in knowledge and learn, read ahead to be prepared to what's coming.
Поэтому мы параллельно со старшими классами проводим отдельно, так, сейчас иначе скажу, поэтому мы параллельно с тем, что даем программу для старших классов, даем и программу для более младших отдельными занятиями. Те дети, которые ушли далеко вперед, и им это не интересно, они занимаются в этот момент самостоятельно.
Okay, and that's why we offer, along with the major program that's older age related, we also offer separate lessons for the younger children to catch up, and then at that time the older students can just use that time for self-learning.
А те дети, которые отстали, скажем так, ну не то, что отстали, они просто еще к этому не пришли, они разбираются глубоко в этой теме до тех пор, пока не поймут. При этом те, кто уже понял, они помогают тем, кто еще не разобрался.
And if somebody is behind, so they take their time to learn, we help them to catch up, and also older students will also help them, will study with them to get them up to speed.
И что самое приятное, вот конкретно для меня, да, то, что у нас безоценочная система образования, и я, когда смотрю, что, допустим, если мы возьмем там русский язык, да, что было какое-то большое количество ошибок на текст, и тут их стало там на 30% меньше. Это по школьной программе может быть все равно на 2. Но меня радует сама динамика.
And so because in our school we don't have grades, our system doesn't include grades, we just look, as a teacher, I can still see mistakes. And in the process, I might notice that the mistakes are 30% less after a certain time. And so I also, as a teacher that was trained for a regular system, I know that in a regular system, it would be still the lowest grade. Like there would be no way to show the progress, while I can personally see a big progress in a child.
И вот как раз на это мы и обращаем внимание детей.
And so we try to show the children, we draw their attention to the process, to the improvements they're having. It's a more positive approach.
Все, благодарю.
Thank you.
Thank you for your answer. There's another question here, and I'm just reading people's questions directly as they are. So is there any chance that us, the adults, the ones who've been through this meat grinder of a system, can attend some adult classes to help us catch up?
Еще один вопрос. Возможно ли нам, взрослым людям, которые прошли через мясорубку обычной системы обучения, можем ли мы взять какие-то курсы, классы, чтобы улучшить наши, так сказать, пробелы, наши, там, где это было недоразвито в обычной системе?
Да, мы можем ответить на этот вопрос. Ну, по сути, к нам, когда приезжают преподаватели на стажировку, не всегда это профессиональные педагоги. Бывает, что это просто либо родители, кто самостоятельно берут на себя обучение детей, либо, ну, вот в случае, да, как вы сказали, что те, кто хотят заинтересованно изучить предмет, то есть, в принципе, эта интеграция очень даже возможна.
Yes, I'd like to answer the question. So in our school, we have the people that come to learn from us. They're not just teachers. Sometimes it's regular people, it's parents, and they come to improve their knowledge as well.
И, ну да, это формат либо летних лагерей, либо коротких программ в течение учебного года. У нас, ну, такая... На протяжении всего учебного года к нам могут приезжать на стажировку, на погружение к нам, на наши программы краткосрочные.
Okay, and it's either summer camp time or it's during the regular study year. We have short-term programs, and basically throughout the whole year, people can come and take like sort of courses to improve their skills.
Но нужно постараться, поскольку взрослые попадают в среду детскую, они живут вместе с ребятами, ну, отдельно от ребят, но ходят на все занятия, начиная от зарядки, всех занятий учебных, хореографии, спорт, осмысления. Как правило, у каждого взрослого, так скажем, студента, да, есть обязательно наставник из числа ребят, которые сопровождают его в процессе. В общем, такой супершкола для взрослых, где можно почувствовать себя ребенком. Программа «Почувствуй себя ребенком».
So it certainly takes some effort, because then when an adult person comes to join us in our school, they have to learn alongside with the students, with the children. They also have to live with children and be part of the collective. And they need to study the same subjects. They go through the same process. They take choreography, they take sports. So it could be unusual for an adult to go through this. And also they get a mentor from one of the children. One of the students will support them and guide them through the process.
Welcome.
That's amazing. That's amazing. I can't wait to get their website and everything so that we can put it on our website so people can get in touch and go visit and study like this, because I think many people would like to do that. Okay, thank you for the answer. I want to move on to another question here. Just trying to pick one. It's kind of a long one, Anastasia. I got to go piece by piece. I would like to know more about co-creation in everyone's experience. What does it look like for them? What lessons did they learn? What unexpected surprises did they get? Like co-creation, I don't know, like co-creating things together.
Yeah. Такой... Sorry? Я переведу на всякий случай. Вопрос о том, о сотворении вместе, процессе сотворчества. Какие уроки вы узнали, какие у вас были сюрпризы, неожиданные, может быть, события в процессе сотворения?
Я могу привести пример про самоуправление, вот как мы вместе, например, решаем какие-то проблемы, совет, управление, вы решаете, мы решаем, потом мы вместе. Вот это, это ж наше сотворчество, получается. Yeah. For example, I can give maybe not the whole answer to this question, but maybe from an example, you would understand how we do that. Well, actually, the process of co-working, co-creation is a process that we have every day. For example, it could be seen in the way how we do, for example, our curriculum for the day, for example, or for a month or for a year. And also we can see that in, we mentioned before that we have a group of children that are directors, that are like more managers too, as well as teachers, as adults. So, for example, when we have a problem or when we have a big decision, when we have I don't know, for example, we get some money, for example, from somewhere, and we need to decide, for example, what we want to do with this. So we are having a meeting with some of the students, actually with most of them. And by the way, we have here almost 87 students. So we ask and we tell this to them. And we say, look, we have this problem, or look, we have this money. We can use it for this, for this, for this, or an option. What do you think? Where we could like use it, where we could put it, like, and we have a process as I would call it maybe a mastermind or something like that, maybe brainstorm, when we take all of our ideas and use some of them, or when there is another issue, for example, another task, or actually we have so many tasks. So, for example, teachers can't like take all of the tasks that should be like done or run by somebody. And for example, we have a group that like we call it a proactive group. Actually, they have meetings these days almost every day, and they solve and they take responsibilities for some tasks, for some some problems maybe that we need to think about or something like that. But these are big things. These are things on the level of adults, when they would be responsible for their decisions. So they have this role of taking responsibility, and there they see that, oh, we are grown up, but I'm 13, but I'm 12, but I'm 14, but I have questions, or I have some tasks that, I don't know, my teacher could do. or my teacher could solve, but these tasks are mine now. So I'm grown up. I'm not a second plan actor. I am a first plan actor. I am like the actor in my life, and I am a co-founder of this process, and I work on the same level as my teachers do, or as my managers, like directors do. So, and I think this is the main thing that we used here. So students, they feel and they know that they are needed, that they are really important. So we don't just make like an image that they can do something, but they don't. We do the opposite. They can, they do, they make decisions, and if that group, that responsible group had made a decision, we say, okay, for example, the pedagogues are coming and they say, okay, your decision, this is your group, and we are, we say, okay, how you said. And the same thing is happening with us. If teachers, all of us, for example, we had made a decision, a big decision or a small one, they say, okay, we approve that, and we go with decision together. So we are like equal managers here. I think they're where the co-working process is seen here.
Mm-hmm. Well, I would like to say that we function in a very similar way, but I would just like to talk about my discoveries in this process, or our discoveries. Well, first of all, when I started doing working on the school and living in education, I saw a leading hand, because what I discovered that I have amazing people, amazing teachers, amazing pedagogues who come to teach our children, and we couldn't even dream about such person coming to our place. We just thought that there were some kind of stars on the sky who would never descend to us. Yes, but they do. This is one thing. Yes, so we always see leading hand, and sometimes we think we're short of resources, but we relax because they come from some kind of place, or people come, or like issues, problems suddenly get solved. What I understood, that we have to follow our life path, and we have to have images in our head. What is the next step? How it will look like? Yeah. It can be different, but this is why currently we're in the process of designing our new school buildings and asked children to do it. They're not professional in this. They don't know anything about architecture, but we have adult teachers who can help them. But the most important in this is that they put their energy in this, and it will come true. And very soon it will come true. And my second discovery, which was really great, when I saw that the common field of the children, it didn't emerge at once, because in the beginning they were each individually separately. This child, this child, this child, all separately, all they didn't have much in common. And then suddenly I saw that, yes, I still have Valera, I still have Uliana, I still have Miron, Taina, and others. Yes, I still talk to them individually. But when I enter the class, I see them as one unity, one body, one field. And this was a very interesting discovery, because the way this field works is when a child comes from outside world, that kind of, well, the best word for this would be wild children. When they come to join us, yeah, they get integrated very quickly, because they start entering this body, they start feeling it. Unfortunately, not all children are ready to, well, not many parents are ready to send their children to us, but some of them use us as a kind of correction camp. So they have a major problem with their children, they send them to us for a period of time. then they take them back and return them to the normal system. But still, I see this impact, and this is a very important discovery.
Thank you for your insights on that. It's very interesting. So I have a personal question from myself. So there's this talk about, and this is for both schools, about learning the 10 years of curriculum or 11 or 12 years of this standard curriculum in 1 or 2 years, right? So you guys are able to learn so quickly. So my question is, how long do students study with you? If you learn the entire curriculum in 1 year or 2 years, how long do they study at the school, and what happens after that whole curriculum is learned?
Я переведу. Габриэль задает свой личный вопрос о том, что вот есть такое, мы слышим о том, что программа школы проходится в ваших школах за 1-2 года. И возникает такой вопрос, сколько же времени ученики проводят в вашей школе, и если этот куррикулум, эта программа пройдена за 2 года, что происходит потом, продолжают ли они учиться дальше, что происходит, когда они заканчивают вашу школу?
Я могу ответить. Больше про первую часть вопроса. Когда информация за 11 лет обучения в школе, скорее за старшую школу, дается у нас за 1 год. Это как, я могу привести пример, как условно пирог. Дается целый пирог за год. Но каждый сколько может взять, столько и берет. Если человек может воспринять эту информацию на 100% за год, он может за год пройти весь материал. Но чаще всего это 2-3 года. То есть тут по способности, насколько активно включен ребенок и насколько он может взять материала за год. То есть предоставляется весь, а дальше уже каждый сам. Понятно?
So I'm just going to say that information is taught in 1 year, and we call it a conditional pie. And every child takes a piece from the pie, whatever they can in that year based on their abilities. But normally we study for 2 to 3 years. I'm not sure if that means that they continue repeating each year. I can specify that if you like, or... Sure.
Да, и также добавлю, что это не значит, что они просто остаются и проходят ту же самую программу 2-й, 3-й раз, 4-й. Нет. Они продолжают проходить эту программу, во-первых, с другой точки зрения, а во-вторых, они уже являются во многих аспектах лидерами процесса, организаторами, помощниками, наставниками и входят не только в учебную часть процесса. Они добирают то, что не взяли, но при этом участвуют в активной жизни именно школы, управления, самоуправления.
I just would like to explain because so for every child that starts a program, they do that first year. It doesn't mean that every year looks the same, because what happens is after taking that first year, they become mentors, they become more active member of learning, and they look at this program from completely different point of view. They facilitate the learning process, and they also fill in the gaps they had in the first year.
И также у меня вопрос, там была вторая часть вопроса про то, что после школы, да?
Да. Что происходит после того, как они закончили школу?
После школы. У нас есть разные здесь, да? У нас кто-то So actually, there was another question, another part of your question about what happens after they finish the school. Actually, there are many directions after that. Some of them, for example, just applies to university. We have our like students that have graduated and they are studying right now, but they are in our community. So they come back to us, they are involved in our life, or they help us, or someone has finished and they are working and they still are in our community. They're still helping us, still involved in the process. So this is one thing. And another thing, and the third thing, as I see it, when, for example, a child has finished the school, after that, for example, he's entering a university, and by the way, he helps or he works maybe here, like on both sides, maybe I could say like that, because some of them, like as Taisia mentioned before, that she wants to be involved in this process. She wants to maybe be a teacher here, or I don't know, a manager maybe. So this is the same thing when students, adults at that time, if they want to stay and if they have this potential to stay, if our ways, are still equal, we, of course, we continue to work with them, continue to go on the same path. But some of them, of course, for example, there are some, I don't know, parents, they take back their child, and for example, they have some plans with the whole family. For example, they have some family business or something, but children still stay connected with us, because I don't know, 4, 5, 6 years of their life was here. They spent it here. So they can just erase it, and they stay connected always and help us.
Well,
thank you.
We'll have 3 graduates next year, we hope, and 2 of them will stay with us as as teachers, and 1 will go to Moscow to study 3D design.
Thank you. I appreciate your answers. We're going to start wrapping up the event here. I know we're a bit over time. I wanted to give the opportunity to the Synergy School here, Nikolai and Slova, if you guys want to share any closing thoughts, any final remarks, and then we can start to wrap everything up.
Мы завершаем. Если Николай и представители школы слова хотят добавить какие-то завершающие ремарки, что-то чем-то закончить, то, пожалуйста, сейчас время для этого.
Спасибо огромное за встречу. Будем рады принять участие в подобных семинарах. Для нас была большая честь поучаствовать в таком проекте международном. Вот, и, конечно, мы были бы рады видеть вас у нас на программах, познакомиться поближе и, так сказать, вживую попробовать тот самый процесс, который мы здесь реализуем.
Thank you so much for the meeting. We were happy to be part of this conference. We would be also happy to meet in person, maybe, and do more work together. And if you're interested in some sharing and some practical work together, we're open to that.
And I would like to say thank you to everybody, to everyone who is listening and listened and participated here. So everyone who is behind the camera, thank you so much for listening us and for being there for us. We don't know you in person, but we feel, a warmth here, a good and, happy atmosphere. So thank you for this too. Thank you for your questions. And this is our first, but I guess, and I wish not the last meeting. Thank you so much.
Thank you. And so people on the chat are saying thank you. They're putting hearts and stuff, and everybody had a very good reaction, and we're so grateful for your time. And we would really love to speak with you again if you're open to that. And Nikolai.
Thank you so much. It was a very nice meeting, very nice conference. Really, it's good that all of you are interested in the subject of education, because only like that will bring up the new world. We see a new system, the world in which it will be comfortable to live. It's a long process. It's not easy, but it's the only way to do it without blood, revolutions, and wars. We just have to transform the society. But otherwise, I would be very happy to welcome you in Gelendzhik in the south of Russia. You can come to our summer camp. You can stay with us. You can be in our learning process. Also, I have possibilities to travel. I don't know to what extent they will be limited or not limited, but I'm also present in Europe because I have a residence permit in the Czech Republic. And I am able to assist in some ways in traveling to Russia, etc. So we'll be very glad to meet you here.
Good. All right. And I just want to say thank you to, so by the way, for all of our speakers, we had over 60 people joining us live, and that's probably fluctuated a bit, probably more than 70 people joined us here today, which is a really great turnout. I want to say thank you to both of you for sharing this with us and helping inspire your brothers and sisters across the world with these revolutionary models of education from Russia. We really don't have much things similar in the West, and we're really trying to build this movement internationally. And your sharing here today is really going to influence a lot of people and has already influenced a lot of people, but it's going to spread even more and help us raise happy, healthy children and powerful children and change this world into the beautiful world that we want to see. So thank you very much for your time and your sharing, to all the students, the teachers, everybody involved. We're very, very grateful. Everybody is sending their thanks from across the world. I hate to end this, but we have to do what we have to do. So thank you, everybody. And we will share the links to the websites for the schools. This will be on YouTube, and we can send it to you, Nikolai, and everybody from Slova. You guys can share this video, and thank you guys so much. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you. I just want to say a couple words as well at the end. Хочу поблагодарить всех за участие. Благодарю Николай, Виталий, всех, Амелия. Простите, все имена не запомнила. Вот, но на самом деле, да, наверное, вы даже не представляете, сколько людей вы уже вдохновили, и сейчас еще на YouTube разместим, то есть просмотров будет много, поэтому, да, искренняя благодарность. И для меня, например, как для мамы 8-летнего сына, тоже это очень важная и нужная информация. И хочу сказать, что самое важное, что я увидела, и что для меня является показателем, это то, что вы строите пространство любви. То есть, когда я услышала, что Виталий сказал: «Я тебя люблю», да, студентки, то есть для меня вот это самое важное, что в том атмосфере, в которой дети находятся, и с родителями, без родителей, самое основное, чтобы они чувствовали себя вот творцами в пространстве любви. Вот, благодарность вам за то, что вы это показали. Okay, I was just saying thank you for everyone who participated, and for me, as a mom, as a homeschooling mom, was important to hear and see that the most important thing that that students are in the space of love. So in their schools, they created that space of love, because sometimes even in the family, kids can feel that, and they can be creators when they don't feel that space. So that's for me is the most important thing, and I appreciate that those schools are exist and they help kids to be truly creators.
I agree. Thank you both for what you're doing, with your schools. You guys are doing such beautiful and important work, so thank you.
Thank you. Спасибо всем. Очень приятно познакомиться со всеми.
Bye bye, everybody. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Счастливо.
Take care, everybody. See you later.
Yeah, bye.